Is this thing on?
Are you ready, Matt?
You're listening to Box Office Bingers
with Matt Diaz and Ernesto Santos.
Good evening, folks. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Box Office Bingers.
And the only way that I know how to do it is to find you a bloody good dump.
He's my friend. I don't have friends. I got family. I can do this all day.
You know, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Box Office Bingers. Ernesto.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not sure what Ernesto is.
Or next, wow. I was gonna think about a way to segue using the word next, and nope, didn't happen.
Nope.
So we're just gonna.
Nope.
You know what the next thing I'm gonna do is? I'm gonna intro the movie. Boom.
That's great.
Here we go. So we are reviewing. You know, it's funny because we're reviewing a comedy this week. Ha!
Yay! Jokes.
They did that on purpose. All right, we're reviewing The Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, Paul Walter Hauser, and Danny Huston. Written and directed by Akiva Schaffer, who did Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Pop Star, Never Stop Stoppin'. Also written by the writing duo Dan Greger and Doug Mand, who did about 50 episodes of How I Met Your Mother, Doolittle, Magic Camp, and also Chippendale Rescue Rangers. And this movie is technically the fourth installment because there's an original trilogy with Leslie Nielsen, which is kind of funny because it's almost identical to like Liam Neeson, and I'm sure that I don't know if that was on purpose, but it just happened to work out that way.
It's kind of like a meta joke in and of itself, and the multitude of jokes that are in this movie. That's just another added bonus to it.
Yeah. And this is interesting because this is the first time we've seen, at least for me, like a straight up comedy like this in a long time. Like
I think,
like a comedy like you already know just from seeing the trailer. I mean, you can look right here on the poster. Like it's absurd. Like this movie is supposed to be absurd.
Yeah, and that's the we haven't seen a movie like this quite some time on a grand scale.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of we talked about this before. A lot of comedies go straight to streaming. Later in this episode, we're going to talk about Happy Gilmore 2, another comedy that's doing really well. But that movie, just very quickly, Happy Gilmore 2 could have easily went to theaters and would have drawn a crowd.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm honestly surprised. I mean, this is Netflix we're talking about, and Adam Sandler has a deal with Netflix, so that's why that movie went there. However, that movie has enough nostalgia and like cult following behind it that would easily generate a theatrical release, and I think it would have done really well. So, in a way, as this episode as a whole, comedy's kind of on the rise. We're getting old school comedies we've never seen before, and the Naked Gun film feels like the first comedy in a long time that is like, we're just going to go all in on the comedy aspect. We have a studio, Paramount, that's backing it as a comedy. Like, people are going to the theaters to see a comedy. I think it has had a lot to prove for not only the movie itself, but for the comedy genre as a whole, for people to go back to the theaters and watch a comedy.
And at least unrelated, but what's interesting about it is that this is almost a great preamble to what's the next scary movie installment, because that's basically kind of like it's going to be like almost the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is actually like box office success is doing really well. So this shows that people will go back to the theaters for comedy, that even in the world of streaming. So it is interesting. So we're gonna talk about that later. We are, because there's a bunch of other shit that we got to talk about. I mean, we haven't had we've been knee deep in summer season of movies. We've had some guests on. We had Nick DeLorenzo, who was on last week for Fantastic Four. We had Stev on the week before. We talked Jurassic World Rebirth. We talked about Superman. All you can just check those reviews out. We hit a lot of movies this summer, but now things are kind of like on the downswing, so we're kind of resetting for fall, spooky, and also Oscar bait season, as we like to call it.
Yes. Yeah, and it's also funny too because it's been about a month since it's just been the two of us, and we've only put out 2 episodes since then, but
Mhm.
it feels like it's been a while. But you know what also has been a while? We haven't talked, at least it's been a good month and a half since we talked about some entertainment news. Because of all of the, the summer is a difficult time, excuse me, because we have all these blockbusters we want to hit. And so like some things get pushed to the wayside, and the news and other things that we've been watching is kind of like we prioritize the big stuff, and then eventually we come back and do the other stuff. And this week is almost again a return to form of what we've used to doing, where we have our entertainment news, our what you watching, and then we'll go into our spoiler review. And this is kind of a culmination of the news in the past couple of weeks, some old, some brand new. So if you're like, oh, that was a while ago, we know it was a while ago, but you still want to talk about it. And one of which that was a while ago was the Emmy nominations, the 77th. The Television Academy has announced the nominees for the 77th Primetime Emmy Awards. We're not going to go over all of them. We're just going to cover the big 3 nominations, and that's just going over the TV shows. So with that, for Outstanding Drama Series, we have Andor, The Diplomat, The Last of Us, Paradise, The Pit, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus. So I think all these are great shows, a lot that we've talked about on this show. Andor, I'm very happy to see that's on that list. The Last of Us, not its best season, but I can understand why it's on the list. Paradise, we fucking raved about that show.
It was good.
So good.
That was a great season of television.
So good.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. You guys can check out the review, but it's worthy of being on the list.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about that when we had Brandon on for
Yes,
Sinners.
you are
We had
absolutely
talked
right.
about Paradise.
Yes.
The Pit. I don't. Did you ever finish The Pit?
I haven't started it yet, but I think,
Ah,
but Matt, and as we will learn when we do what you're watching later in the show, I was able to knock some things out on my list, and I feel like I'm in a show hole space where I'm ready to pick up a new solo show. So
yeah.
this Pit's gonna have to be the next one, especially if I
The
want to,
Pit.
because I want to try to hit these Emmy shows these Emmy nominated before the Emmys.
Yeah, and The Pit is definitely one to watch. I was very happy to see the one on there. Severance, no surprise. That's another great season of television. And The White Lotus. I have not seen the latest episode of The White Lotus. It's interesting now that it's now considered a series. It was a limited series,
Hmm.
but now I guess after season 3, you're no longer limited. So,
No,
uh,
no, it's pretty ongoing.
yeah, I would say so. So moving on to for outstanding comedy series, we have Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks. I feel like these are staples now in
Hmm.
this particular category. But we also have Nobody Wants This, Only Murderers in the Building, Shrinking, The Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows. So a lot of returning names, like I said before, Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Only Murderers in the Building, and What We Do in the Shadows have all been nominated in this category before. Some new ones, I believe Shrinking. I don't remember if Shrinking was there last year or not.
I'll double check, but
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head.
But definitely newcomers in this category is Nobody Wants This, which was a great season of. It was more like a dramedy, but it was still a great show. I'm happy they got renewed for season 2. And obviously, the big one out of here is The Studio. I think The Studio is gonna be the one to beat because that first season was really, really good.
Mm. Uh, Shrinking was nominated for the Emmys before the 2025 awards for its first season, which
Okay.
premiered in 23. The show received 2 nominations at the 75th Emmys: Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series for Jason Segel, and Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for Jessica Williams.
Okay. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, going to the studio, like they have like a guest nominee, like a best guest appearance in a comedy or in a show. I'm pretty sure the studio dominated that whole
Category.
category.
Oh yeah.
It was between Martin Scorsese and I think Catwoman.
Halle Berry.
No, the other one, the one from the Batman.
Oh. Oh.
Chloe. Damn it, what's her name? I can see her face and everything. How it's gonna bother me. Batman. Zoe Kravitz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think she was also part of that as well. I think James Franco might have been there too. So yeah, it's a lot of no, not sorry, not James, Dave Franco. Dave Franco. Um, yeah, he was also in that conversation as well. So yeah, it's fun. It's great to see that the studio is getting a lot of love because it was another great season of television. So honestly, in my opinion, that's the one to beat. But I mean, you also have some legendary heavy hitters in there. The Bear, Hacks, Abbott Elementary, they've all won in the past. So it has some competition for sure. And then lastly, for outstanding limited series, we have Adolescence, Black Mirror, Dying for Sex, Monsters, and The Penguin. I love to see The Penguin up there. It is definitely deserves it, but I don't think it's going to win it. I think Adolescence is going to take that and run home with it.
I mean, they're both so good. I love them. I
I
really
know.
do love it's really, and I mean we're not really talking, I mean I guess we're talking kind of predictions, but like it for me it's a toss up between those two. Now I haven't seen Dying for Sex. Black Mirror this past season was pretty good. Was very good.
Okay.
But I mean Adolescence is just like on another level. It's like that's
I
just
mean,
another
it
level of
really was.
storytelling. It broke molds, it changed the game a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that's the one to beat. But however, The Penguin was such a good
I
show.
mean,
My
that's
God.
fucking compelling storytelling. It's basically like DC's version of The Sopranos.
Yeah, in a way. Um, but yeah, the winners of the 77th Primetime Emmy Awards will air live on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus on September 14th. So after that airs, we will come back in the show and we'll talk about all of the winners to come out of the Emmys. But yeah, there's a few shows. I think, I mean, so far we've done, especially in the comedy section for myself. I've definitely hit up a lot of those comedies already. I haven't seen the new season of Abbott Elementary yet. I'm sleeping
Yeah,
on that one.
same.
But yeah, I haven't started. Have you started The Bear yet?
Um, so we'll talk about it later. But we watched like the first episode, and then we were like, oh, we could watch this, or we can watch Ironheart, and then we ended up watching the entire season of Ironheart.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah.
see.
We're like, because we're
Uh,
like, and what's really funny is that like we wanted something more lighthearted, and then like it's nominated for being a comedy, and we're like The Bear is just a little bit too dark right now. Like, like I don't want to be laughing and depressed. I just want to laugh, like, or I just want to have a good time.
I don't feel like crying right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't started The Bear either. I feel like I've been like I remember last season I was like opening like as soon as it hit
Yeah,
Hulu, I was on it. This year not so much, and it was reflecting of it said there was a downswing for season 4 this year, even though a lot of people were also praising it. So we'll see how we'll get to it eventually.
yeah,
I plan on starting it very soon. One of the next shows that I watch.
yeah.
But yeah, that's the Emmys.
That's the Emmys. You know what else, Matt? We got some Spider-Man news that I'm actually very excited to talk about this next story. So for those of you who are watching and not listening, we're gonna go through. We have some set photos. We have 2 set photos, and then we got a video that we're gonna show you guys. And it's what's going on with the new Spider-Man movie. Basically, Spider-Man. Sony Pictures gave us our first look at Tom Holland's new Spider-Man suit to announce that filming has begun for Spider-Man: Brand New Day, with production on the way. Reports have also indicated that where did I do that? That's right here. That
You lose the graphic. There it is.
Yeah, I did. I lost my place. Damn it. I tried to do a good thing and I fucked it up. Sorry.
That's all right.
Mark Ruffalo will be reprising his role as Bruce Banner / the Hulk. Last time we saw him was the She-Hulk finale, as well as Michael Mando returning for a role as Mac Gargan, aka Scorpion. Last seen in the mid-credit scene of Spider-Man Homecoming. It's unclear how major of a role either character will have in the film. Spider-Man Brand New Day hits theaters July 31st, 2026. So here, let's go back to that. Let's go back to this first photo right here. I mean, damn. Look how good.
I mean, so
he looks
so here's
great.
the thing. That is not a professionally done photo from the studio, I should
No.
say. I mean, it's a great photo. That is somebody in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, you could see.
That is a
Look
fan.
at the crowd surrounding them in the background.
Yes.
Like literally watching. You can see this other one. This one actually looks pretty cool. It's the back. You can pretty much see the full suit. But they also released like the production studio, the Sony themselves dropped like a video with Tom Holland walking in and they showing the suit. And I think it is fantastic that they're getting ahead of the game, because you already know that set photos are going to leak. Like it's like you can't, you're not going to be able to stop it from happening. Another video I've seen online is people in apartment buildings wherever they're filming The Odyssey, of showcasing like Christopher Nolan. There's like some big epic scene with like fireworks and lights and shit, and like people who above are like showing videos online of like Christopher Nolan's film in The Odyssey. So like in this day and age, you're not going to be able to stop people. So why not get ahead of the game and be the king of your own marketing? And I think that they're finally starting to listen. You know, like half of Deadpool Wolverine, like half of that shit was ruined by set leaks.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because like that was kind of riddled with a lot of spoiler stuff in it.
Yeah.
So they didn't want that to going out, and I understand that. And they try to get ahead of it in a way. I don't think they actually gave us an official, I don't remember if they gave us like an official launch of like the Wolverine costume, but I do remember like leaked set photos saw him in yellow, but Marvel themselves didn't actually put like an official thing out that he was wearing the yellow suit. So I think in this particular marketing, like you were just saying, getting ahead of it by revealing, hey, this is new Spider-Man suit, because guess what? In a week, we're going to be filming in New York and everyone's going to see the new suit. So rather you seeing it through these photos here, no matter how gorgeous they look, you know, they were the first, the studio was the first person to announce the suit, and now it's not even in our conversation anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there it is. There's the new Spider-Man suit that looks like a Spider-Man, you know?
And they're even allowing like people just to really like set videos. So I believe this is like the second part of this story is we're going to be reintroducing like insane stunt work, like practical swinging into the Spider-Man movie. So I did that right. So this is, I mean, you can see, look at that shit. He's just practical swinging.
It looks incredible.
I think it looks great. Look at the crane that they have there. I mean, this is for those who are watching on Spotify and YouTube can see this. Like, I mean, this looks great. Look at this.
Yeah, they're using practical effects on a crane. He's actually swinging through the streets of New York. Like, Spider-Man's real right now. Like this is real life.
Look at that. I mean, that is incredible. This is incredible work. I mean, it makes us very excited. This video was posted by Cinema Tommy. I love this. This is a great site to follow. But I'm very excited for this. I mean, this gives me hope that this is a Spider-Man movie that we should be getting. Like, in the age where Superman was able to do it, like Spider-Man can do it too. And what's interesting about this is Matt and I were talking about this before the show, is that John Watts, the previous director of Spider-Man, made it a point to call out this exact thing that we're seeing, this practical swinging. He said, it doesn't look good when someone is just swinging on a rope. You think you're going to go in there and you're like, we're going to do it all practical. You're going to get a stunt man. We're going to be swinging around. It's boring. It looks dumb. It looks like a monkey swinging on a vine when you put someone on a rope. Don't waste your time. That's my advice to the next Spider-Man director. He shared this in an interview
then the
with
next
Collider.
Spider-Man director's like, hold my beer.
And then Daniel Desencredin said, hold my beer.
He's like, I'm going to make it look cool.
Yeah. And you know what? I have all the faith that he can do that. I think he's a
It
fantastic director. I
Yeah.
mean, Just Mercy, Legend, Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. I mean, the man
Yeah.
makes great movies.
Yeah, and what's funny about that is, like, I don't know how it's gonna look on camera, but out on the outside looking in, it looks really fucking cool looking it online. I'll tell
Looks
you
pretty
what.
great. Looks pretty great to me. I bet you're gonna make it look more real, but not as much. So then that's even better because now the CGI surrounding that, they don't like they really just have to change up the CGI surrounding him. Or
Yeah.
even if they do it practically through camera angles. It'll be interesting to see how this looks, what the finished product of that will look like.
Yeah, and also on top of all this, I mean, and we also mentioned this when we were talking about this, I believe yesterday, was that this movie is a year out and we're already getting hyped for this film. The same thing's happening with Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. IMAX and 70 millimeters were on
Yes.
sale a year in advance, and theaters are sold out. Now, to be clear, those showings were only it was only one showing. It basically they're just saying here is the first showing of the movie in IMAX and 70 millimeter, and it was only in certain IMAX theaters that can even hold that, and those theaters are already sold out of that first showing. More will obviously come later down the line, but it's crazy that they pushed a theory of like, will people buy this year in advance? And the answer is yes,
Yeah. As soon as you
they
put it
did.
out there, people will make the decision. Yes, I will 100% go see that. I will be there.
I
Let's
would
do it.
commit a year in advance to this ticket, and people are selling those tickets as well, which is nuts to me. Don't
Yeah.
buy those tickets.
Yeah, don't just wait.
Don't do
Like, the,
Just wait.
don't you want to be the first one to see it in 70 millimeter? It's like, no, I can just wait a week. Like,
I'm okay.
it'll be all
I'm
right.
okay. But going back to Spider-Man, like we're getting so much hype around it a year in advance, and it's really cool to even hear Kevin Feige, and we were talking about this before, getting a street level Spider-Man um back into the fold. He's like, this is like the first time we get to see Tom Holland, Spider-Man actually be Spider-Man, like swinging through the streets of New York. This is one of a small complaint that I had with the Tom Holland movies, and that it felt like it felt like a world story. But then
Yeah.
again, we've had like the Tom Holland and we've had the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield films that were always centered around New York, and that's Spider-Man's bread and butter. So Marvel Studios wanted to go outside a little bit and giving us a worldly Spider-Man story, and that's perfectly justified. But now going into here, it's kind of refreshing to see Spider-Man be back in New York, fighting street level crime, especially what happened at the end of No Way Home. And just seeing these set photos, him just walking through New York and you seeing the citizens of New York kind of rallying around the filming of Spider-Man. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is real. This is as if Spider-Man was a real character, a real person swinging through the streets of New York, and you have the whole city surrounding him. That's how much Spider-Man means to people,
Yes.
to see this reaction. And so it's kind of just cool to kind of see that, and also just the hype around this movie because now all these people are gonna have these memories of like, I saw Spider-Man swinging through the streets of New York for real.
Like I saw the stunt work behind the movie. Like, oh, like, and then they're gonna take people. Like when that scene, I was right there.
I was right
I
there,
saw
yeah.
him swing by me. But then think about like, when in the case of the movie, like the crowd surrounding Spider-Man, those are free extras that they can use as crowd support. Like to watch people who just want to watch Spider-Man swinging through the city. You don't even have to hire extras. You got all these people who are just there watching.
They just wanna be there.
They just
I'll be
wanna
here
be
for
there.
free.
Yeah, I'll be here for free. Sure, take your video, take your photo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care.
I don't have to pay somebody to be there.
Look at all these people. It's
Look at all these
great.
people. Look, hey, yo, who you get one hype person say Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
So yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of hype around this movie. I am questioning a little bit of how you get a street level Spider-Man movie featuring the Hulk. I don't know how that works,
It's like a buddy.
but
It could be a buddy cop story. I could see that.
you also have the Punisher, and then you're also now bringing in Scorpion. But apparently Scorpion is not our main villain. There is a hidden villain, or that's our main villain throughout this movie. So there's current rumors that it's saying it's Mr. Negative that was recently featured in the first Spider-Man PS4 game.
That would be
So
dope. Mr. Negative is a great villain.
I have a lot. I mean, I am so hyped for. I love that it's going to be street level. They claim. I really don't believe it. they say that Vincent D'Onofrio, Wilson Fisk, Kingpin is not in this movie. I just don't believe it.
Have you seen
I
Daredevil season 2 and kind of like the direction of where New York? I'm sorry, isn't he the mayor of New York right now, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, there's a good possibility we're either going to hear about him or we're going to see him. Like either his image or his face. There's going to be there. I mean, if there's not a reference, it's like you're going to tell me there's nothing important going on right now
Yeah.
in the current state of the universe. Like, no.
Look,
Like,
I understand that there has been recently a divide between Marvel Television and Marvel Studios as films. They haven't not been crossing over as much as they used to. I think the last major crossover we had was probably the Marvels when Miss Marvel jumped into the Marvels movie.
yes.
And then we also saw that with WandaVision going into Multiverse of Madness. So those were like direct links from television into that. Obviously, we're getting a little bit lesser of that right now. Um, and I'm fine with that. But you can't tell me that you're having that. I feel like this is they're fucking with us.
Yeah.
There's reports saying that he can't be in the movie. Like money will talk.
Yeah.
You want Kingpin in the movie? Sign a check. He'll be in the movie.
Got to make it worth it. I don't know. We'll see.
If you have the Punisher, you cannot tell me that Daredevil and Kingpin are not in this movie.
Unless he's a setup for like the next Spider-Man movie.
I don't know. I feel like Tom Holland's days are numbers as Spider-Man. Enjoy him while you got him.
I mean, he's trying to do Oscar-worthy shit. I mean, he's literally in the Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. So
I don't know when he sleeps.
He doesn't. Clearly, he does not.
And also, these movies come back to back with each other. I think The Odyssey is like a few weeks before Spider-Man, so he's going to be dominating the box office next summer.
And what I think is, yeah, that's true. What I think is,
and John Bernthal.
Yeah,
he's also in The Odyssey.
That's right. That's true. That's true. That's true. There's a lot with this movie, and then you have all these characters are going to be in here. Like so, but after seeing Superman, like I know it's a different, like it's a Marvel versus DC, but I think like I'm less worried about there being so many characters because we have an example of how that can be handled in this type of situation. Because then if it doesn't happen, then it's like, well, you included all these people, but you have all this reference point of like how to do it correctly, like to manage an iconic character with lesser known characters and not it feel overstuffed. It's like there's a formula there that you missed that we hope that they don't miss.
Yeah, but also Marvel has been putting characters together for many, many films now. So this isn't outside of the realm of their wheelhouse. They've done it on a two front, like with even with Thor and the Hulk and Thor Ragnarok. Like
that's true.
That is a perfect example of like that type of vehicle moving forward. And then also they have the Avengers movies they're always connected into the big grand scheme of things. So like Marvel knows. It's just sometimes they do it better. Some movies do it better than others when they're outside of their team up like realms. Like they've been some bad movies like Captain America Brave New World. And then there's like better movies that can do that same formula well. So I have all the faith in Daniel Destin Cretton and Tom Holland and the Spider-Man story they want to tell into giving us one hell of a film to next summer.
I agree with you 100%. All right. So we're going to move on.
Two more Spider-Man.
To another Spider-Man story. An animated Spider-Punk spinoff film is already in early development at Sony Pictures Animation. The character was first introduced in 2023 Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Daniel Kaluuya, who voiced the character, is developing and co-writing the film along with Ajon Singh. Casting and plot details are still unknown. Back in 2023, it was reported that the other projects expanding the Spider-Verse were in development, including a live-action Miles Morales film and an animated Spider-Woman film, but no additional information has been announced since then. We do know a Spider-Noir TV series starring Nicolas Cage is expected to debut on MGM Plus in 2026. I think this is great news. I mean, he was obviously one of the highlighted characters within that film. They did leave us at a point where we can kind of see where he's at, because he kind of, if you've seen Spider-Verse, there was a certain point of the film where he kind of is like, all right, this is too much for me. He kind of just dips out. So then easy pickup is the continuation of where his story goes following that. Because I don't really know much about this character. I've only the first
No,
time I saw him really interacted with him was through this film, and I think Daniel Kaluuya. I thought he was great. I mean, he's fantastic in everything he does, but I feel like
yeah.
he was able to bring this character justice.
Yeah, it didn't specifically say he was voicing the character, but I would assume that he is, given that he is on the project and writing it.
Yeah,
So I would assume that he's also gonna be voicing it, but other than that, I think, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse opened the door to tell more Spider-Man stories that's not Peter Parker, and I'm happy to see that we're pushing forward through telling other Spidey stories. Like, we still have Tom Holland and, and Peter Parker in that central storyline that's gonna keep us getting excited for more and more stories, but I love that there's still room to give us more than just Peter Parker, and I'm hoping that some of these other projects do get off the ground because it has been now 2 years since we had any updates on a live action Miles Morales or an animated Spider-Woman film. I don't know if those projects are still in the works or not, but obviously these projects were announced before Spider-Man Brand New Day, and we see which one got fast tracked into production.
yeah,
So I'm not sure if they're waiting on people to, pick up the slack or whatever, but I would really like to see some of these also other projects moving forward because Spider-Man is a very valuable franchise. And we don't need any more villain stories because they're not great.
they've
Sony, you
tried
know
that.
that.
You
You
tried.
gave us you gave us a lot of bad ones. Almost all of them were bad. Every single
I
one.
mean,
Like the
I'm pretty.
Venoms were
They're awful. They're just not
awful.
good.
The Venoms didn't 100% work, but it made you money. Madam Web, I'm not going to get into it.
But you
Craven,
already know.
but you already know about my feelings about Madam Web. Craven the Hunter was probably one of their better outings, but also not great. I feel like I'm missing one. I feel like I'm missing one more.
Mm. Oh,
Oh,
Morbius.
Morbius, awful. It's like you gave a good run, Sony, on these random villain Spider-Man stories. Didn't work out. Let's focus on these other Spider-Man stories. It seems like that's going to work out better for you at the end of the day. So I am looking forward to seeing the Spider Noir TV series whenever it leaves MGM Plus because I'm not
Yeah,
gonna be downloading that. But
yeah,
eventually it will hit on Prime. I'm not sure in 2026, but they did say eventually it will go to Prime, so that's when I'll be watching it.
yeah. I'll be waiting for
But
that.
I am excited to see more Spider-Man stories come into play, and I hope this comes to fruition. And Danny Kaluuya is a great creator, so yeah, I will. I'm happy to see more about what this world has to offer.
Yeah,
Focusing on a Spider Punk series,
hundred
or sorry,
percent,
a film.
100%. Uh, quick note: Quiet Place 3 has been given a release date of July 9th, 2027, but John Krasinski is returning to write, direct, and produce this film. So I think that's fantastic. A Quiet Place. I forgot the name of the one with Lupita Nyong'o.
Quiet Place Day One.
Quiet Place Day One. I thought it was a fantastic piece of the puzzle that we got. It was a great prequel for the movie. Uh, the second one was great. So I mean, he obviously kicked everything off with the first one. So it's great to see him round out his trilogy.
Yeah, it's crazy because there was a time where we were unsure on whether or not he was going to direct part three, and it always felt odd that that was up in the air that he wouldn't be a part of it. So now that we finally get the confirmation, one, we got a release date. We still got to wait 2 years to see the movie. But however, we did get one last year, so that's fairly recent. So basically, just be 3 years out. But I agree with you. I'm happy to see that John Krasinski kind of is owning the fact that, hey, let's see your fully fledged trilogy and not hand it off to another creator. Because I think John Krasinski, in my opinion, is like he's the secret sauce to this franchise.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely, without a
So
doubt.
like,
Although, I
I
mean, I enjoyed the second one with Killian Murphy. I mean, I thought he was a fantastic addition to that. And then we're
yeah,
not gonna get.
but Ryan John Krasinski still wrote and directed that movie.
That's right. That's right. That's right. He did do that. I don't know why I thought he didn't. But I mean, yeah, exactly. So it'll be this is going to be great. It's great to see him come back
Yeah,
for it.
absolutely. A little bit worried that he wasn't, but now I guess he came to his senses and maybe he saw how his last movie did and be like, I should probably go back to these Quiet Place movies.
I mean, it only
Uh,
makes sense. I mean, you started it, why
yeah,
not finish it? It's
exactly.
it's the day one that he didn't do.
Correct. Day one he didn't do.
That's what. Yeah.
But in between A Quiet Place 2 and now announcing Quiet Place 3, he did a movie called If, which was not great.
In case
So
if you were wondering.
if you were wondering, yeah, and at the end of the day, like go back to horror, Krasinski. Sorry, just go back to horror. Very appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go back to what we like. Thank you very much.
If
Like
is
I
a,
love original storytellings, but please go back to Quiet
all
Place.
right. So, but what if is the prequel to Day One? It's the these. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Nope, nope. Not even entertain that thought.
Not even entertaining. All right. All right.
Absolutely not.
All right. We'll move on
Uh,
then.
all right, now we're gonna go to some. I feel like less fun news. It's more of like what's happening behind the scenes of the stuff you watch and like what's happening on the and I feel like this is like the corporate real world news that is going on.
Yeah.
One of which that this actually just came out today. The Hulu app going bye-bye. No more. The standalone Hulu streaming app will be phased out as Disney announced it is fully integrating the streaming service into Disney Plus starting or not starting, but sometime in 2026. According to a Disney rep, consumer or customers will still be able to buy a standalone Hulu subscription as well as a standalone Disney Plus subscription. But it just seems weird that you can still buy a standalone Hulu subscription, but you have to download Disney Plus in order to watch Hulu. So if you have a Hulu standalone subscription, everything else will be phased out of your Disney Plus app. So I'm surprised they're still keeping it separate and just not owning it and being like, here's a bigger price to have these two. There's this one big streaming service that is Disney Plus, but also at the same time, this isn't really surprising to us. We knew this was happening at some point. Now that Disney owns 100% of Hulu, this was inevitable. It was going to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, we knew that. But it's interesting for them to do that because at least now they're offering it's more different tiered systems to draw more people in. Because yeah, you can buy the
Yes.
standalone one, but then how many times are you gonna log on to Disney Plus to go to Hulu and be like, maybe I'll just get Disney, maybe I'll just get the one that has both. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I think most people like I pay for the Disney Plus Hulu HBO Max bundle.
mm,
And that's been really easy for me. But I also have Hulu that's already in Disney Plus, and then there's also the 3 separate apps for all of them. So, I think Disney was also smart about it because Hulu's already integrated into the app itself. So, if you have Hulu, you can just go to Disney Plus and it's just an extra tab on there, and then all the Hulu content's there. So, eventually, um, it's really just Disney Plus. I'm surprised you're still keeping the Hulu name unless they have to. But it just seems like a random division of just like eventually just be like, okay, I'm gonna go Disney Plus and I can either watch ESPN or stuff on Hulu. But I'm surprised it's just like it's a Disney Plus original. Why keep the Hulu name at the end of the day? But I guess it already has brand recognition at that point as well.
mm, true.
So a lot of factors there. But either way, the if you're using the Hulu app, maybe start to get comfortable with Disney Plus because you're not gonna have it anymore. With that, moving over to Warner Brothers Discovery, and they always have the weird fucking news, man. Warner Brothers Discovery announced the company will be separating into two separate entities again, like like how it started originally before Discovery brought Warner. Anyway, the new publicly traded companies with Warner Brothers um, now going into streaming and studios and Discovery Global, compromising TV networks, Discovery Plus, and other assets. So that's kind of what they're basically splitting themselves into two things: Warner Brothers and Discovery Global. So under the Warner Brothers branding, it will be focusing on streaming and studios, which will comprise of the Warner Brothers Film Studio, Television, Warner Brother Motion Picture Group, DC Studios, HBO, HBO Max, and Warner Brothers Gaming Studios, as well as their film and TV libraries that will be called Warner Brothers. according to Warner Brothers Discovery, that's in honoring the legacy of a more of a century of industry defining storytelling. That's your category of movies. Calm down. Um, but also, yeah, basically everything that is movie or television related is going back to Warner Brothers as a separate entity. And then the other half, the global networks, which will be Warner Brothers Discovery's entertainment of sports and news television brands worldwide, including CNN, Discovery, TNT Sports in the US, and the free to air channels, excuse me, across Europe, as well as digital products such as Discovery Plus Streamer and Bleacher Report. All that will be called Discovery Global. Uh, that name, uh, that name, according to Warner Bros. Discovery, was selected to in recognition of the infinity and value this name has around the world in entertainment, news, and sports. The split is expected to be completed by mid 2026. So, according to our world, doesn't change much of anything at the end of the day. It's just kind of interesting to see that Warner Brothers Discovery, though still keeping together as a brand, internally they're splitting into two separate divisions. And mainly, like you're going to have a different CEO running the movie and television side, and then you have another CEO running basically everything that's on network television. So that's what it is at the end of the day. And yeah, it's just at the end, like it just feels like there was a lot of stuff that happened in the last 2 to 3 years with Warner Brothers, and now I feel like week after week, we're just hearing them just go back to what it was before.
Yeah, it just seems like they needed them for that holdover period when they were financially struggling, and maybe everything's fine after Superman. Everything's fine. I'm sure that's not. Obviously, I'm sure that's not the only reason, but it's just funny.
It's like, I don't know, once James Gunn started DC Studios, seemed like Warner Brothers doing just fine.
Like, hey, Discovery, go discover yourself over there. We're good. We're good over here.
Yeah, Superman can help you fly your bags out of this office and somewhere else.
I mean, I wonder what the percentage was of people going on to HBO Max to stream Discovery stuff.
I can't imagine there being a lot of that. It's interesting because there's a lot of like reality television, but
Yeah.
it doesn't focus on all the stuff that Discovery has to offer. It's not like where, like for example, like Nat Geo's with Disney, and they have a bunch of content that a lot of people enjoy from the Nat Geo programming.
Hmm.
But it doesn't feel the same way with Discovery. It just feels, in my opinion, somewhat random. But I mean, they also have HGTV, which is a huge library, and the Mongolia Network, which is also huge.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's also under the Discovery branding. What I do find sad though is that we've already talked about this before, but HBO and Warner Brothers are kind of leaning away from kids programming, and with that, we talked about Sesame Street now going to Netflix, but also I just read that the Cartoon Network is going to be leaving the streaming service
Yeah, that's crazy.
fairly soon. So all those classic animated shows that kind of now feels like going on a dying network will be harder to find. It was all conveniently in one place with the Cartoon Network branding of in HBO Max. But yeah, that's those older episodes. I'm not sure if everything is leaving, but it seems like a lot of those shows are going to be disappearing from the streaming service, and that's sad
Yeah,
because that's content that a lot of people enjoy for years and years.
true, true. Yeah, man.
But yeah, so anyway, that's what's happening over at Warner Brothers. And this last piece of news that's going to be diving into a larger topic. And actually, I want to start by talking about South Park. South Park came out with an episode that garnered a lot of attention, a bunch of attention that kind of dived into what's happening with the studio, as well as what's happening with politics. And we don't have to talk about politics in the show, but this episode of South Park, and I don't watch South Park at all. I have no interest of watching it, but this episode garnered so much attention and so much publicity in what they did, what they said, and the political nature of all of it is one of those things where like you just gotta watch it.
Yeah.
And before we dive into what's happening behind the scenes at Paramount and now with the Skydance merger, I just want to quickly just talk about this episode. Uh, and I mean, and you watch South Park on a daily basis. I'm not sure if this was surprising to you or just normal course. This is a normal South Park episode because South Park, even though I'm not a big fan of it, it is unique as it's very topical on its subject. It like weeks, if not days, as it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I watch it daily. It's not like I'm like gotta watch my daily South Park episode, but it's like whenever their new one comes out, which have been few far in between. They've had a couple
Yeah,
of specials that have come out, which, I mean, they have good, really funny takes on things that are happening on our society, like on all fronts. And really, what's great about them is that they don't leave anybody out. They make fun of everyone, and
there
I
you go.
think that's part of why they're so successful. And this episode is obviously no different. It kind of reminded me of the South Park movie, because
Mm,
what he did for Trump, he did the same thing for I think it was Saddam Hussein. Like he was in like this love relationship with Satan,
yeah,
except for I'm pretty sure that they blurred his penis and they did not with Trump. I mean, I mean they went. There's like a whole PSA thing that they released for it. I mean, it was wild. So now they have this deep fake. There's at one point in the episode, I'll just say this part where they have this deep fake of Trump um, walking naked through the desert, and then he's like passes out from dehydration, and they have this animated cartoon penis of his that like talks to him. And then the end of the episode, they talk about this website, and if you go to the website, it redirects you to the South Park YouTube page, and it pulls up this PSA, this Donald Trump PSA.
what's crazy about this episode was that I was hearing a lot of talk about it, obviously, with this episode. But they were talking about, oh yeah, they decided not to blur out Trump's penis, and I was like, I'm sorry, what's happening?
Like you did
And
what?
so when I saw the episode and they showed like the animated like South Park character version of it, and he dropped his pants down, and I was like, oh okay, this is what they're talking about. And then the episode continued further, and I was like, oh, that is not what they're talking about. They're talking about this completely other thing that is just kind of wild in this political nature to do that. So a little bit of a back like this is the reason why I feel like this is getting a lot of publicity is that there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that makes a lot of people like well one people certain people are disturbed at what South Park even did in general, but there's also rooted into this deep kind of political satire of like this is what's happening in our world right now. We're not going to stand by and just let it happen. Like we're going to do what we do best here at South Park and kind of put it in the forefront. This comes days, this episode aired days before Paramount reached a streaming deal with the South Park creators for a $1.5 billion deal to have 5 more seasons, if I'm not mistaken, air on Paramount Plus. This is coming off of the 5-year deal that Warner Brothers made with South Park a few years ago, and it was $500 million for the next 5 seasons to air on Paramount. I'm sorry, on HBO Max. That deal has ended, and Paramount wants all that stuff back in their home streaming service because Paramount owns Comedy Central,
Hmm.
and so then they signed it more than double deal to have all those episodes. That's how much South Park means to Paramount. And then they pulled this shit.
But doesn't that
It's incredible. It's incredible.
yeah, it's great. If anything, it just speaks to it even more so speaks to their brand.
Yes. Like they're like because at this point they're invincible. They
They
just
absolutely
sign a
are.
deal. What is the company going to do? Cancel them? They just signed over $1 billion deal. They can't do anything about it, which is fantastic. So anyway, back to some background knowledge that kind of happened. So just recently, Skydance Media is buying Paramount Global for $8 billion. The deal closes by the time you're listening to this episode. The deal would have already closed. Excuse me. The company is expected to be structured into three primary business segments. You have the studios brand, you have the direct to consumer brand, and then you have the TV media brand. Now, this merger has come with a lot of controversy. They said because particularly surrounding the elimination of the DEI initiative, and the appointment of an ombudsman at CBS News, which is basically someone overseeing the news that is happening over at CBS,
Mm.
raising concerns about corporate influence over journalistic independence. Other controversy moments are Paramount's 16 million deal settlement with former president, or not former, he's sorry, this is an old article. The Paramount's 16 million settlement over President Donald Trump over a lawsuit concerning a 60 Minutes interview also drew criticism, with some suggesting it was a tactic to expedite the merger's approval. So they feel that the merger wasn't going to get approved because there was this lawsuit hindering on them, and Paramount just paid out the lawsuit so they can move forward with the Skydance merger, which they really wanted. And then some investors remain cautious about the merger's impact on Paramount's strategic direction and the ability to effectively integrate Skydance's operations and assets. Um, the merger represents a pivotal moment in Paramount, uh, potentially reshaping the future and impacting the broader entertainment industry. So that's what's happening as far as the merger is concerned, and then also the political nature of with the kind of the settlement deal that Paramount made with Donald Trump. And so then on top of that, also in the realm of Paramount News, they also did this. They The late night show with Stephen Colbert is ending. They had canceled the show. And so there was I wouldn't say any confusion, but and when you first read that, it's like, oh, Stephen Colbert is leaving late night. No, they are ending late night, the show. Like, the late night is no more on CBS. CBS announced that the show will conclude in May of 2026, marking the end of the late night franchise on the network. Colbert reveals this news to have live. Sorry, Colbert revealed the news to his live audience during taping, stating that it was a decision driven by financial considerations, not related to the show's performance or content, according to CBS officials, which again also drew controversy of like Stephen Colbert is very known for speaking his mind.
Hmm.
And if they're saying bad stuff about Donald Trump, then that's not going to bode well for the studio when they're trying to be nice and everything. So all of that seems to the theory is it's all connected. The decision has sparked debate, with some attributing it to politics and others pointing to broader trends of late night television viewership, which over time has been going downhill. And so there is even a question of if late night is even existing anymore, even on the other networks. So you have all that happening behind the scenes, and then you bring it back to the South Park episode that literally addresses every single one of them onto their parent company directly.
Yeah, they don't
And
care.
and that is, to me, the insane part about this episode and why it's probably getting a lot of attention is because they blatantly signed $1 billion deal with the company and then instantly bashed them for everything that they were doing behind the scenes.
But and what we kind of mentioned before, like this is kind of on brand for them. They don't care. They make fun of everybody. If you did something that's worth doing, worth making fun of, they're gonna do it. I mean, they weren't a part of Disney, but they straight up made fun of Mickey Mouse. Like they
Yeah.
have an impersonator. They like and they talk shit about Disney. Like they talk shit about everybody. Like Tom Cruise, they've done Tom Cruise. They did R. Kelly.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, there are certain episodes of South Park that are literally banned unless you saw
Yeah.
them when they aired, just
Yeah.
because of the content of the things that they shown. And it's always been a show that's known to push the boundaries. But I think that they have really funny but also smart takes on society. I mean, they in this episode they literally address the Stephen Colbert thing. I mean, they
They
did
did?
it. They did it. I mean, they did it with Jesus coming down and talk and having a sermon on the mount, on a sermon on the mount instead of
Yes.
sermon on the mount, which is obviously a takeoff of Jesus addressing the crowd service sermon on the mount. So I thought it's just, I mean, it's funny the whole "I'm gonna sue you." I mean, and then they just pay, and then they literally paid him out, and half of the episode is this cartoon version of Trump. And actually, excuse me, it's not a cartoon version of Trump. They did what they did with Saddam Hussein. They literally took the person and put him on the head of a cartoon, and it's
Yeah.
his voice, and it's doing like the oh my god, like that this guy, hey guys, like they do that
Yeah.
voice for that character for that character. Um, Yeah, I mean it's a wild episode. I thought it was really funny. Like to me, this is like peak South Park. Especially now. I'm really curious what the rest of the season's gonna look like
Hmm.
because they literally are invincible. I mean, they could literally cancel the show. I mean, they can't, not to the end of this deal, but damn. Like they can literally do whatever they want. So I'm curious how far this is gonna go. Like, are they gonna
Yeah.
keep is Trump gonna be a reoccurring thing, or is that gonna be like when he just does really crazy shit? Which I mean, be honest, it's like every day, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do agree with you how much they're going to be poking the bear. And to your point, this is on brand for them. This isn't like the first time they've done controversial things, but also to be this on the nose about it, not only in our political climate, but everything that your parent company is doing, and you are just putting it on blast after you just signed that deal. I think it's just a baller move, but
Yeah,
also it says a lot about our industry and entertainment as well. Like, how much of it is just being swept away just by writing a check and that's it? Like, how much influence is our politics having on the way we view entertainment? All of that was addressed in that episode. And I think it's worth noting. And I'm, in a way, happy that this is getting attention because I think it's putting a spotlight on, like, these are questions that need to be asking if this is even okay as, we move forward and how we consume our entertainment. So I think the episode was extremely smart, and I've seen a handful of South Park's episode. A lot of them I did not like, but I think this one is an exception of being like, all right, this is you taking your platform that you've used for the past 30 plus years and having something to say in the way that South Park knows how to say it.
and I don't remember, and they've always been like quick to switch, like, and then it's always like almost immediate. I don't remember exactly which election it was, but they made two versions of the episode
Yes.
depending on who was going to win. Because then I think it was either going to release like on election night or on like the day after. It was almost like an immediate after. They were, so it's like the amount of thought that they put into these
Mhm.
comedies, I think, in which is why they're so successful and why this show is still ongoing. I mean, they are the kings of this style of comedy.
Yeah. I mean, love them, hate them, you got to respect the game. And they've been killing
hundred
it
percent.
for years. You know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, so that's what's happening over at South Park. But now we're gonna kind of formally move over to a fun segment I like to call "What You Watching." So Ernesto, we'll start with you. What have you been watching?
So besides this South Park episode, I've watched like a bunch of shit. And actually, Matt, I'm before I even get to the one I have the graphic for, I actually have two that I forgot to add,
Okay.
but I want to speak on. And number one is Saint Dennis. I finished the
Mm,
series. It is so funny. Like it's just it's just good. It the formula, that's another one that's on a that had that mockumentary style of storytelling, like The Office or Superstore. It just works. It works. It to me, it's like it works for that style of sitcom, and we ate it up. Like we've watched it. I've watched the whole season through at least two times.
wow.
Well, because like the first time you watch it, and then like now it's something you can just have on in the background, and then like
Yeah.
certain scenes, like you can just catch certain scenes, like oh that was funny. It's like I don't like it plays well as even just kind of like The Office, like just like background noise, and like
Yeah.
you're called, like the episode itself is good, but you're also called back to like specific moments and like oh that part. Hold on, let me watch this part. Oh, that part's funny, and then you go back to just doing whatever you're doing. I don't know. So it's a great TV series. I'm very excited for when the next season comes. I'm on board. I'm on board for whatever they're going to put out for that show.
I'm surprised that wasn't in the Emmy conversation because like 'cause a lot of
Yes.
people have been raving about that show. So the fact the Emmy noms came out and it wasn't listed on there, a little bit quite surprising. But again, it's probably renewed for a second season already, so it has time to kind of make a comeback in the Emmy circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of hope it does.
Mhm.
And the other one is White Lotus. We finished this most recent season
Oh,
of White Lotus. Um, there's a lot of great moments. I think in comparison to the other seasons, I want to say this one's not their weakest season, but it was good. It was in comparison, like it was in. I feel like season one is probably the best. It probably goes in like in order. So one, two, and three, at least for me,
yeah,
as far as this, because it's gonna be like a lot of the same. A lot of it is it's a mystery. It's like a murder mystery, but then they
yeah.
also use it. as a way to kind of explore these different classes of people. And like this one, you have this family, and then there's also these group of successful girlfriends. Like they're all in different points in their life, and then they come together, and it's you really get a good understanding of their friend group dynamic and kind of how that plays out in certain scenarios during the trip. It worked really well. We get a callback. I don't remember her name off the top of my hand, but there's a reoccurring character from season 2 who plays a major part in this season. And I thought she was great. She was a great addition. It was a great tie-in to previous season. You get some. There's another character that also comes back for this season. But it was great. It was a great season of television. If you like the first 2 seasons, this one's right on par for you.
Yeah, I feel like I've slept on this current season. Like it's been there, it's always been there, but I just never. I started other shows instead.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely worth checking out once you get to it.
Mhm.
All right, so now moving into my main list, we're gonna start with a movie called Opus that's streaming on Max. It's
HBO Max.
sorry.
HBO.
Correct. I am so sorry. To HBO Max, starring Ayo Edebiri. It also has John Malkovich in it. And it's kind of weird. It's an A24 film. It's weird, but it's a good weird. Did you see it?
No, I wrote it off because I felt like it was too weird for me to enjoy.
Um, I've watched enough with you. I think that's a fair assessment because it does get. I mean, it gets pretty like out there because they're
Yeah.
it's the turn that's in it. It was for me was unexpected.
Okay.
So your fault. John Malkovich is like this renowned artist, and then he invites all these like not socialites, like different reporters and
Mhm.
people who have reported on him, and he brings them to his compound while he's releasing like this new single. And everybody's so excited because like his music's like they renown him like Taylor Swift, like one song and like everybody's listening to it and everybody's
Yeah.
talking about it and everybody's like engulfed in his lifestyle. But then you start to learn about his like the people who at his compound and the people who he has working around them. It is fun. It's good. I think Ayo Edebiri plays a really great role in this. I think the turn is really good. The story and it has a good ending, so I would enjoy it. Like it's a solid 3.5, 4.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
It's at least
there's
worth a
certain,
watch. I think it's at least worth a watch.
well, that's the thing because there are certain movies where I'm like, it looks weird, but I'm willing to go on the journey because it could change my mind. And those are the movies I give a shot. Kind of like Together, which we'll talk about later in the show. The trailer, it looks weird. There's a
Mhm.
weird premise there. I'm willing to go on the ride with it and see where it goes. But then this one, I feel like this in a way, I understand it's very different, and not similar at all. But like I got the same vibe as Blink Twice, another movie that I kind of
Mm.
gave a shot. And then there's this bunch of people who go into this area where they've never been before, and then weird shit happens, and then there's something at the very end that does it. And I feel like I've seen that already, and I didn't think this movie was going to offer me anything different. And so then I made the decision, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna not watch that one. I'm
Uh,
gonna take a pass.
okay, so I think if you look at it in that vein, then I would say don't watch it because it is very similar to Don't Blink, Blink Twice. I
I
don't know.
think it's Blink Twice.
That one.
Yeah.
It's similar vibes. Yeah, very similar
Yeah,
vibes.
because I feel like I'm just waiting for the twist of the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch a movie just to wait to see like, okay, you're gonna go to this area, a lot of weird shit's happening. Like I know 2/3 of your movie already. The only
Yeah.
thing I don't know is how you decide to end it. And I
Mm.
don't want to waste an hour and 20 minutes to give me a 10-minute ending when I can just easily just look it up and see how you ended the movie. But I also don't want to do that either. So like I'm honestly perfectly fine if you just tell me how the movie ends right now.
All right. So this is spoiler in case anybody
Spoilers.
wants to see it.
Yeah.
This is your warning. So what happens is he brings them all there to fucking kill them because they've all like wronged him in some way, whether in their reviews or in like certain little things that they done. And like he just pulls them into a room and he just starts offing them one by one. He has like these group of people who work for him and like he horrific. Like he like rips this lady's hair off. Like he tries to kill Aoda Berry and she ends up like getting away.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this one girl is like she like drinks poison and you like see her tongue swell up and like you just see John Malkovich go crazy and it really like that's really like the best part of the film. You're right. Like the turn, like at the very end when he starts going crazy and he starts giving his exposition, like it's pretty wild. Like it's just wild shit to watch. The best part is the end.
You telling me all that makes my definitive decision sound of not watching this.
Yeah, I know. You were right.
Yeah.
That's what I was agreeing with you. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. In that case, you probably shouldn't watch it.
Yeah. Like now I feel like I've watched the movie. Thank you.
Yeah, you absolutely did. And so did everybody else.
I've seen it now. So thank you very much.
And everybody else who's listened to it, they're probably like, yeah, I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All right, but you know what? I watched Superman again. So I've watched this movie a total of 3 times. Once in Dolby, once in regular, and then I wanted to see an IMAX before I left IMAX. And it's been fantastic. I mean, the movie is amazing. Every time I watch it, it gets better. It's just like because the first time I watched it, I was like, wow, that was amazing. And then I was like, I need to rewatch it just to make sure that like I'm not overhyping it. And then I got that confirmation. And then the third time was just pure enjoyment. And it was great. Every single viewing I've had of this has been great. I would love to go see it again if I have the time. Probably not. But once it gets released, I probably won't. I'll probably wait for physical. This is definitely a movie for the physical, for the physical shelf.
Yeah, they said it's coming rather soon.
Yeah.
Like within the next 2 weeks, you will probably see Superman available on VOD.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I want to do VOD. I want like the steelbook, like physical copy, like the collector's edition. Like that's what I want.
Yeah, you want that nice physical, just put around the shelf.
Yeah.
Right
Say, oh look at that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
It looks all nice and new. Like it's because at this point, like you could have a digital movie collection, but you can't show it off.
No.
It's like, oh look at my digital library. Look at that.
What's really sad is that I used to have like a very substantial like shelf full of movies, and then we moved. I was like, I don't really have space for it. So we underwent this project where I took them all out of the case and put them into a book. So I have like 3 books full of movies that are in sleeves that I cannot put on the shelf. It's very sad.
I feel like this is a longer conversation. I've talked to this about with Megan, and she's like, I don't care. But
I care. I was very sad because now looking back, I go, damn, I wish I could just have a wall and just have all my movies, and it's like a little mini Blockbuster. But now it's going to be broken up.
Well, the thing is, I'm going to go on a tiny rant about physical media and how it's dead. It's not dying, it's dead.
It is.
Like there's no reason for really anyone to have physical media anymore because everything is available on your phone. Any movie you want to watch, any music you want to listen to, it's either on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, and then for movies, it's at a multitude of streaming services, or you can own it digitally on various platforms. Like that is even if I buy a movie for myself on a physical copy, when I go down at the end of the day and when I'm going to watch it, I'm probably just going to go to the streaming service, mainly because I don't have to leave my couch to press play on the movie. Like I have to get up, turn on my PlayStation, put the disc in. Why do all of that when I'm already paying for all the streaming services anyway? I can watch it whenever I want to. And more often than not, I'm not even going back and rewatching those movies because I'm trying to keep up with the new shit that's happening right now. So it's kind of sad in a way that the only reason you would buy the physical media of it is for a collector's item.
That's really why.
You physically own the thing, and if it leaves a streaming service or if any of your digital library just happens to go poof and the internet is no more, you can still watch your favorite movie because you own it physically.
Well,
And that is
that's
pretty much the only reason why you should buy physical media anymore, because everything is available on your fingertips, which is sad.
it is sad, but that is the I think that is the reason why. And I think I actually saw I think I remember seeing something recently that Christopher Nolan was in it answering that exact same question and gave the answer you gave. It's like, well, the reason you do it is so that nobody can take it away from you.
Yeah,
Nobody can decide that it's not worth being on streaming anymore, or it's not worth having on demand anymore. You can make a decision to get it. I also think because then you're not upholding to whatever streaming quality they're going to give you. You can watch it.
correct.
You pop that disc in. That's 4K Ultra HD. Like
Yeah,
that's what you're getting. Like there's not going
that
to
is
be
what
any
you're paying
question.
for. That
You
is what
paid for
it
that.
is and always will be.
And at least see, for me, that is what it's worth. It's worth being able to have that high quality on demand, and also like all the special features. And
Hmm.
but that goes into the realm of why collect these things, and that's
Yeah,
why. Because it's
yeah.
worth having. Like it's cool. Like look at these scenes that they were almost had in the movie. Look, we can literally watch the movie and just listen to the director. I know it sounds like some people's like that sounds boring as shit. But you know what?
Yeah,
I eat that shit up. I could sit there and watch
yeah.
the whole movie with the director's commentary. You start learning about different decisions they make. You start
Mhm.
learning maybe like little fun anecdotes about filming certain scenes. I mean, it's just cool. It's just cool as shit to see how people made movies.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is for movie lovers. That's the At the end of the day, that's what the collection's for. And because of that, the lack of accessibility for the physical media, because Best Buy and Target stopped selling it in their stores. So if you really want to buy physical media, you have to go to Amazon or even Walmart, the only places that actually sell physical copies anymore, or random video stores here locally, and your mom and pop stores. And so at that point, like that becomes at a cost. They used to have so many deals and sales of like you can buy physical media cheap, but now that's not a thing anymore. So if you want it, you're going to pay the premium for it, which is the standard $30. And sometimes for me, it's just easier just to because it goes on sale very quickly, like on Vudu. If I wait a few months, that movie's $10. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying that movie in 4K for $10 and I can watch it whenever I want, no matter what streaming service it's on. But every now and then you just want to own that physical copy because it's yours. And that's the sad part of my for me is that I don't have any reason to buy it because I can watch it on things that I'm already paying for. But it just in the nature of me is like I've been doing this for years. I feel like if I really really love a movie, you want to hold it, you want to
Yeah.
own it.
Yeah. But I think what this does, at least for me as somebody who collects and owns movies, is that now there's a delineation. So now there's like,
Mhm.
is this worth having in my Voodoo library, only in my Voodoo library, or is this worth having it in both? Because when you buy physical, you get the digital
Yeah,
code
yeah, exactly.
for the digital film as well. For the like if you want it on your Voodoo, excuse me, it's not Voodoo, it's Fandango now. Is what it is now.
I'm
Um,
never calling it Fandango at
it's
home.
Voodoo.
It's Voodoo.
It's Voodoo.
I don't care what you're calling it. I said Fandango at home is a stupid name. That is
and
such a stupid name.
And when I go on my phone and if I search Voodoo app, the Fandango one comes up. So it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
It doesn't you're right, it doesn't matter.
But
It's like,
so
"Oh, you mean Fandango at home? Yeah, whatever."
yeah, whatever. Fandango at home. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so but
That's so
what's
long to say.
exactly. So but like perfect example is us we're getting ready for the Naked Gun movie. I was like, "Oh, like I really want to watch the originals." Voodoo had it on sale, the bundle of 3 movies in 4K for $17. I was like,
Mhm.
that's fine. Like that's easy. 3 movies, $17, whatever. It's something that I've used to rewatch. I'll rewatch
Yeah,
later. But now I was like, well, is it worth having a physical copy? Probably not.
yeah.
At least not for me. It's worth having, but not having the physical copy like that.
Yeah, 100%, because then, because you buying it digitally just affirms that you can watch it on your own time and not have to search the streaming services of where is it now? Or in some cases, it might not even be on a streaming service, and it's like the off chance that you wanna watch a movie, and it's like, "Oh, we're nowhere to be found. You're gonna have to rent me." It's like, "No, I'm just gonna buy you, and then I can watch you whenever I want."
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like the
Yeah,
rental and then the price to rent it versus buying it is like a very few dollars. It's like
yeah.
for like $2, I can literally just own the movie instead of being upholden to this 48-hour window and then I don't get to watch it again.
Yeah, and that's honestly what they do for, like, brand new releases. Like, I think Jurassic World Rebirth is now available on VOD, and so you can rent the movie for 25 or you can own it for 30. It's like, okay, well, just spend the extra $5 and again, you're not beholden to a 48-hour window and you can watch it whenever you want. So why would and that's what they want. They
Yeah.
they have it such a small price difference that they want you just to buy it rather than you just renting it.
And it makes sense because if you rent the movie, who's to say you can't invite 40 of your closest friends to come to your house to watch this movie? It's
Sure.
like, how many people you're going to make buy the movie. You get everybody to chip in $1 here, $1 there, then it's, then it's
Adds
like,
up.
and it's like, it adds up. It's nothing. And then you got a watch party and you having a party at your house, I don't know.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like again, you can buy your movie for $30 online once it comes out. That's perfectly fine. You wait 2 months, damn, that hits half price real quick. And then to me, it's 10 or under. That's my limit. It's like it's gonna get to 10. It's gonna get to 10 at some point. And I'm fine waiting. I already saw the movie. I'm good. I got my Regal Unlimited pass. That's when I see my movies first. And then I'm gonna go over eventually when that baby hits $10. It's like, ooh, sweet spot. There it is, right there. Bam.
Or like even speaking of Jurassic World Rebirth, I use my AMC A list. I also went and saw it again. What's because my son, like, hey, do you want to go see F1? Do you want to go see which one? He's like, I want to see Jurassic World. I was like, all right, that's fine. Like, I'll see it again.
But you're like, as a father and movie connoisseur, you want to rethink your decision? Like, nope. All right, I guess as a father, we're gonna go watch this movie.
Yep. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. Like, whatever. And you know what? I reaffirm my decision. I think it's fine. It obviously has its faults. It does, but it's very much a just kind of turn your brain off and have a good time, and know that
Yeah.
Jonathan Bailey's invincible.
But also, just let's see, Jurassic World. Uh, it still captures the imaginations because it's currently sitting at $768 million worldwide. So
It's a
doesn't
good
matter if it's good or not. People love dinosaurs.
it's a good summer blockbuster film. Like, it's a good monster film to watch in the theaters. That's entertaining. It's entertaining. It's an entertaining movie. Don't look at it for
Yeah,
logic.
I guess
We're
I
we're
I
on
will.
we're on an island full of mutant dinosaurs. So what do you expect?
Better storytelling. That's what I expect.
I have an answer to that actually.
Actually, I do. Yeah, I expect quality. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Like Superman.
Like Superman. It's been done before. You can give us a good Jurassic Park movie, and you did it once, and then you gave me a copy in 2015, and it was good, and then you haven't done nothing else after that. So that's just me.
But guess
Just
what?
give me a good.
They're
I'm gonna
probably
watch it regardless,
Yeah, and they're probably gonna make another one, Matt.
and they will, and they don't care about my opinion because it's making money.
Yeah.
So,
They're like, nobody cares. And guess what? People are still riding the rides.
yeah. This franchise still gives us money. We don't care what you think. You watched the movie, didn't you? You
Yeah.
dumbass.
Yeah. How much do you love that song, bitch?
Oh, you have the Jurassic Park shirt, don't you? The classic logo? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Watch my movie.
Thanks for the money.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, shit.
All right, God, I'll watch your shitty next movie
Oh, what?
too. And I'm gonna bitch, and I'll bitch about it then, and then I'll go watch the next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna still bitch about it, but you don't gotta be mean.
Yeah, just know that I'm hate watching. I'm like,
Yeah.
great, you keep doing that, son. Pay my
For
bills.
you.
All right, I'm done. Now.
Yeah, you hate watch all you want. All
Yeah.
right. All right, buddy. You do that.
Thanks for paying my mortgage. All right,
Yeah.
Matt, I'm done. That's all I got.
All
At
right.
least besides
All right.
the stuff we got to share later.
Yes. All right. So moving on to a few things that I've watched. Deep Cover. It's a new movie on Amazon Prime, starring Bryce Dallas Howard, Orlando Bloom, and Nick Moad from Ted Lasso. It's a really funny premise. It's like one of those movies where you kind of just buy into the bit, and it's actually really funny. It follows these three improv actors that are asked by the I guess they're the FBI, some sort of police organization, to kind of infiltrate this drug dealership, and they're like the least expected people that they would do it, but they're also great improvisers. So they're kind of just see them kind of stumbling their way through this situation. And for them as actors, this is a good real life practice for them. And they're also at low point in their lives, so they're trying to prove themselves at the end of the day. This movie was surprising and a lot funnier, and it works way more than I thought it was going to.
Oh, see, I was expecting you to tell me it was terrible.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, because I saw the trailer and I wrote it off. And then, and very similar to Opus, where like I saw the trailer, I didn't care for it. Now let me go to see what the reviews are. And the reviews will like kind of tamper on whether or not I want to give it a shot or not. And these were overly positive. And I read some of like the one sentence reviews, and they were like, "Yeah, it works." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to give it a shot." And sure enough, they were right. It was a solid comedy. It's
Okay.
an action comedy. It's like really good. Like you get a few chuckles, you get a few action beats, a few explosions, and you're kind of along for the ride. And it takes a couple of like it's like it just keeps getting worse, and you're just trying to see them improvise more in this situation. Like, okay, this is actually getting pretty funny now. So it's this trio also works. I didn't expect it was going to, but yeah, I recommend it. It was a fun watch.
Okay. All right.
Then the other thing that I watched, man, this movie made me cry.
Really?
It's a not a goof documentary on Disney Plus, and it highlights the um like behind the scenes of the making of a Goofy movie. And it's kind of like the little movie that could. And I never realized that how much hardship this movie had and what it had to prove, and what it was like an experimental film that not a lot of eyes were kind of on it, but they were kind of were. And this was also coming off of like you kind of see like here's this movie that came in 96, and this movie's going to give a theatrical release and kind of giving like the B level studio a chance to get a theatrical film. But then also this is around the time that Disney's coming out with hit after hit, and they're giving you Beauty and the Beast and the Lion King, and you're like, damn, this is top tier uh Disney. And then on the horizon they're also giving you a Goofy movie. And at the end of the day, the movie was a financial and critical disaster. It was not a good movie at the time. At least people didn't realize it. And then many years go by, and it just hits this cult classic phenomenon of the age that we grew up in, loving this movie as kids. And I remember loving this movie when I was a kid. I had no problems with this movie. I loved it when I was watching it, and I'm sure it still holds up today. I haven't seen it in so long, but it has like good memories in my
Mhm.
heart of me rewatching this movie over and over again, and then kind of just seeing this little movie that could, and seeing the tribes and tribulations they had making this movie, and then it just completely tanked. And it's kind of heartbreaking to be like, but I remember loving this movie. Why did it didn't resonate to the people at the time? And then over time, this movie was of a generation of people who didn't grow up yet. And so now you have these people showing it to their kids, and they're kind of using this as a platform to like interact with their father as a father and son story. And you have some nuance and so much relatability to a character that is goofy. You don't expect that to come from like a character like Goofy. And at the time, people associated Goofy with slapstick, and they're like, "Well, why are you giving Goofy this like realism? Like he's this is not comedy. This is a drama." Like that's why they didn't like the movie. But now we have this new generation of people resonating with it and kind of putting it into our culture. And now obviously Disney's recognizing it. They're now promoting it and like, "Oh, we love this movie, whatever, blah blah blah." But at the time, it wasn't favorable to kind of see how a movie can grow, and just it was made ahead of its time, and not for the current audience but for a future audience. I was by the end of it, I was like, "Fuck, man, I'm on the airplane and I'm in tears."
I'm surprised you didn't want to you didn't watch Goofy movie after that, or you didn't have it ready to go.
I did not have it ready to go, no, but I kinda wanted to. And then also the music in this movie, just like as the documentary was kind of showcasing, it like it fucking slaps, man. I was like, I forgot. I was like, that's right. There's a lot more songs in this movie than I remember, and they're fucking bangers, man. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I know you were a huge fan of the Goofy.
Oh man, I love this movie growing up. I remember I had the VHS. I mean, we would just
Yeah.
play it. We would play it on. We had it on repeat at the house, and I've showed it to my kids. I mean, I had a Powerline shirt for the longest time until I didn't fit anymore. But I mean I had it. I mean, it's great. And then that 1-to-1, that song.
Eye to Eye.
Oh, excuse me, Eye to Eye is so good, so good.
Yeah. It to me, it was just kind of a heartwarming documentary that, yes, obviously the subject matter held true to like what my interest is, and it's primarily focusing on talking about a Goofy movie. But there's many other movies like this that it was made ahead of its time. The people of the time didn't understand what they had or what they were watching, and it was just under a different mindset. And now you look at it years later, and it's like, wow, it's kind of crazy how a movie can change over time based on the people that are watching it and of our time. So I liked it for that reason. Definitely worth watching.
And it's just one. It's like an hour and change, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's like an hour 20, hour 30 documentary.
Oh man. Okay. That sounds pretty good. I have to check it out.
Yeah. You're gonna leave in tears. That's that's what happened to me. I was like, movies can't make a difference.
I do. I love
But
that
yeah,
movie.
so there's that. And the last thing I watched separately, before we dive into our shared what you're watching, is Happy Gilmore 2, which currently stands as one of the most streamed movies on Netflix ever within a certain time period. And I had a good time with it.
Did,
I think
did you?
I think I did.
It sounded
It
like
was like what's funny is that I don't remember ever watching or believe I ever had watched the first Happy Gilmore until a few weeks ago. Uh, I'm remember it's like I don't remember this movie at all if I had seen it, and so it felt like I was watching it for the first time. And that movie was fine for its own right. It had, your couple of slapsticks and goofy moments and early Adam Sandler comedy. And then this one took it's still a comedic approach, but a lot of cameos. This movie was filled with cameos. Like, and I appreciate for what it was. It was like, here's this kind of respect for the art, respect for the game of golf, but also here's a comedy that is again very similar to Naked Gun, which we'll get into later. But like, here's a comedy that just doesn't exist anymore,
Mm,
and can it live in today's society? And when done right, which I believe this did do right, it can live in a world where this is a pure comedy that we can just laugh at and have a good time, and it recognizes that it's a little bit goofy, no pun intended from the last thing I just talked about. But like it can be silly.
mhm.
Like a comedy can just be a comedy and it's okay to just laugh at a few jokes and also be a little bit wholesome about it. Like we don't have to degrade anybody or bring anyone down in order to make a comedy work. This movie does a really good job of kind of being up with the times while also being true to what this is kind of always has been, but you can definitely see this as an aged Adam Sandler and giving us a different level of comedy for sure.
Really? Okay. All right.
But like it wasn't the best movie I've seen. It definitely had its faults and its moments, but at its core, I was like, yeah, this is fine.
Solid.
This is
Solid.
it's solid.
Solid Adam Sandler comedy.
It knows what it is. And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what we're like, if you know what the movie is, then we can lean into what the bits are.
Yeah.
Like, if you're telling me it's a comedy, but then you're giving me a drama, it's like, well, this movie sucks because I didn't laugh at all.
Hmm.
But like, if you kind of set the tone in the beginning, and like you have a franchise that kind of goes behind it, then like, yeah, just give us a little bit more of the same, but also something different, and that's kind of what it did. Like, give us more of the same, but just an updated version of it, and in a way, that's kind of what this was. So,
Okay.
I'm fine with it. It doesn't seem like you have any interest of watching this movie.
I do. I mean, I used to watch. I love the first one. The problem is that like I told my son that he could watch it. That he wanted to watch it with us, but he wants to watch the first one first.
Yeah.
And the rest of us have seen it.
Oh, I see.
So we're waiting for him to watch the first one, and then we're gonna watch the second one. But I mean, it's not going
Oh,
anywhere.
okay.
So yes, I am
No,
interested, but it's not gonna be an immediate thing.
Oh, okay, but you do have interest of watching this one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love
Yeah,
the first one's hilarious.
yeah. I think some of the jokes are a little bit dated after watching the first one, but that's expected. The movie came out like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I would have to.
Um,
I believe so. I would have to watch it in order to answer that.
yeah. There was one element in the movie that I'm not going to spoil that shocked me that they made that decision, and then that was like kind of like the launching point for the rest of the movie, and I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that, and some of the acting was just fine. But overall, again, it's a movie that knew what it was and it worked.
Okay. All right.
So now we're going into our shared content, which is quite a bit. So bear with us here. The first thing is the Four Seasons. Did you end up watching all of this?
Oh yeah, I finished it. What
Yeah.
did
What
you?
do you think?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was it's a very complicated story, kind of like this intermixing with these friend groups, these different married couples who are in different seasons of their relationship, and they kind
Yeah.
of pair that with the actual seasons throughout the year. But I don't know, it worked for me, and I like if they come back for a second season, I would definitely watch. I thought
Yeah.
it was
They,
funny.
they, they, they confirmed for a second season.
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny, and I really liked Coleman Domingo. I thought he had a
Yeah.
great moment, and I think I talked about it. There was an episode that he directed. It was probably one of the best episodes of the season.
Yeah. For me, this was an easy breezy. Each episode's 30 minutes long, 8 episodes. We finished in a day.
Yeah.
Like it's a 4 hours total, and we just breezed right through this. My only thing, spoilers. I
Okay.
think the only thing I did not like about the show, it honestly it left a sour taste in my mouth at the end of it. Again, spoilers. Why the fuck they killed Stephen Carell? Steve Carell. Like
uh
that came out of nowhere. And I like read because Tina Fey's was part of the creating team behind it and the writing a few episodes. And they gave an explanation of why they killed off this character. But I was like, that came out of nowhere. Like there was
well, what was the explanation?
they said that they wanted to kind of give it a little bit of juice, for the most part. They wanted to kind of end with a bang, so to speak. Kind of give this big moment because everything was kind of like at a status quo and you have your internal relationships within everybody else, but they wanted to kind of throw a wrench into all of this and seeing how the characters react to it. I'm fine with throwing wrenches, but I don't think that was the right one.
See, and that's interesting because I don't know. It worked for me because you have this man who's like trying to restart his life, and he's kind of going through the motions of it. And then we're at this place where you think that he's okay. Like he just finished, and granted, we already said spoilers, but he was, if I remember correctly, it was New Year's Eve, and he had just gotten into an argument with his current girlfriend, but yet he had spent like half of his night FaceTiming with his old friends, kind of reminiscing about his old life. So it almost seemed like he was at this crossroads in his life where, is this really what he wanted to be doing, or does he miss what he used to have? And kind of like I agree with you. I would have loved to seen him navigate that because I think that was interesting because clearly he missed his old life, but yet he is trying to make this new thing work because it ended with him going to the store to get something for her, and that's
Yeah.
ultimately how he passed away. And it's I don't know, it was it's interesting take because like granted, even if you want to start your life over, like you don't know what's going to happen. Like you could literally go to the store and die on the way there. Like
Very
you
true.
went through all this shit, and you didn't even get to like enjoy it. Like you just made up with your daughter. Like he had just began to restart his life. And
And then
maybe that's the point, is like that, as no matter what you do, is that life can be tragic. Like like you can't escape fate.
and I think that's to your point. I think that's where they were kind of going with that because they did also make a point of like when like this is what happens in life. It's just like obviously not as planned, but they were all going through their own, sit- you know, they're all going through their own stuff in their own lives, and then here's this thing that kind of just like, how are they going to react to all this? I think also part of my problem was the way that he died. It was off screen. It was
Mm.
on his way from a grocery store. Very similar, again, spoilers to the morning show season 3 when he's driving and then he just goes off the cliff because he's tired and they said he got into a car accident and died. I think if they were going to do that, because he was also talking about, he was kind of having this midlife crisis and again, all the turning point of him as a character. They were teasing that Coleman Domingo was having the heart issues, his character.
Mm.
And they were teasing that throughout the whole movie or the whole series. Like he was taking medications, he didn't want to do the surgery, all that stuff. I think for a way better death, if that's what you're going to do, was that you were teasing Coleman Domingo to have maybe having all these heart issues and passed away, but it was Steve Carell out of nowhere who had a heart attack rather than him dying in a car accident off screen.
Mm.
And I think that would have been here's this unexpected thing that is the natural occurrence in our lives to have like here's all your life is going through. You have someone who's worried about their heart, and then all of a sudden another person in your life, they died of the heart attack and they weren't even a questioning of it. I feel like that would have been a way better death than them having a car accident off screen and then them reacting to it over a phone. And like I think that part bothered me a little bit more than him dying.
I get that, and I actually I like your idea. So here, I wonder if they went this route because with a car accident, it feels more tragic because like a heart condition, maybe there was an underlying condition that could have been caught. So you can that now you have them festering on what they could have done differently to help him get the help he needed. But
But if
but
you
it
know
would
about it, like if no one knew about it,
because nobody was taking care of him. His ex-wife
exactly,
could,
yeah.
but then we could have routed into his ex-wife feeling guilty because, you know, she could feel like, you know, this whole cause of the relationship, everything that happened, like nobody was there to help him, and that's what happened. And then the new girlfriend is guilty because maybe she felt that that was her, now that was put on her, but she obviously wasn't ready for that responsibility, and like she wasn't ready to look out for him in that way that he needed because of I mean their age difference, because of them being so vastly different, that she
Yeah.
wasn't equipped to handle that type of thing. So
But
I mean
now
that would have been an interesting dynamic, especially seeing that she got pregnant afterwards. So
yes.
like then so not only are you pregnant, but you're also living with the guilt that you could have caught this thing that could have saved his life, as opposed to it being this abrupt thing off screen. The only thing they when they give us the off-screen thing and then it is a confirmed death is that you're getting the point of view of the people who are receiving it. They didn't see the
Yeah.
accident, so you almost receive the shock the same way because when they told us, I was like, he's dead for real. He's actually dead. Like we went to the funeral. It's
Yeah.
done. He's gone. Like he is actually gone. And
I
so
feel like but it shocked me in like in a negative way. Like it took me out of the show and we had like one more episode left. And I was
okay.
like, wow, like that again came out of nowhere. And I was having a good time with this show.
See,
And
and
all of a
that
sudden, like dead. And I was like,
but
oh,
that's what happens. Like life, as you know, as much as we try to bring comedy into our lives and have a good time, but sometimes just shit happens. Sometimes like there's no sad setup monologue for everybody who dies in a car crash. Sometimes they're driving home from a New Year's Eve party and they just fucking die, and that's just how
yeah.
their life ends.
Yeah, and like I'm very curious of where they go from here in season 2 because obviously now they're setting up that I guess the new girlfriend who is now going to be the mother of his child is and dynamic of kind of coming with terms of the ex-wife and how that's going to play out moving forward with this particular friend group. So it definitely presents an interesting situation, but I'm curious to see how that continues. And I also just like, I like Steve Carell, so him just being kind of killed off and
But
like
it doesn't mean he can't exist in flashbacks.
that's I guess
Like
he could come back.
he's an important part of this story. So
Yes.
a lot of it could either, I mean, depending on when we come back in their story, like whether the baby's born or she's pregnant, wherever we come back to, there's going to be at some point there's going to be reflection with him. Like there absolutely has to be. Like
Yeah, I
whether they
agree.
find something. I mean, the whole premise of the season 2 is them dealing with this new dynamic of this woman, of the other woman now is part of the group because she has a physical part of him that exists that we want to
Yeah.
be a part of. You know, the mom's like, well, I want my daughter to know her brother or sister, so I have to be in this girl's life. You know,
Mm.
like there's gonna be like there's that. Now, what I will say is that I think one more season and then we're done. Like almost like a
Yeah.
2-season limited series. Like I think anything further than that, unless something really drastic happens in this second season, I think then that's it. At least for me.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll
Because
see.
otherwise I feel
I
like you're gonna drag it a little bit.
yeah, I don't see myself like rushing to go see a second season, but when it comes out, I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, I would definitely watch it when it comes out.
Yeah. Moving on to Your Friends and Neighbors, another show that got renewed for a second season. John Hamm, Apple TV Plus, a show that you raved about a few weeks ago, and then I eventually hop on the bandwagon on this. It was another good show. I thought the ending was a little underwhelming. I feel like it didn't have a strong enough ending as I would have liked,
I can agree with
but
that.
I enjoyed the ride.
Like, would you come back for a season 2?
Yes, just again, probably not immediately, but like I always felt that the premise was a little strange to begin with. Here's this rich guy that lost his job, and then now he's going to do petty crime at his neighbors, like
But
homes.
but they did set up, like, at least it was plausible enough for me. Like, the reasoning of how we got there for him to want to start doing it made sense to me, because
Yeah,
he knew the clientele, he knew a lot of their mannerisms and how much their what's the what's the what's a good word for it? If I like their nonchalantness toward their high value material things.
yeah,
Like, oh, she's not gonna notice this $15,000 purse, or this like $100,000 watch. Like, he won't even notice that it's missing.
yeah. I do think that the trailer didn't do a good job of setting up this show, but I think once you're in it, you're like, okay, I can buy into what's going on within the pilot, and then kind of going along for the ride from there because it's a lot more than that. It's not
Yeah,
just him stealing stuff; it's him going through a divorce. Again, another show about a midlife crisis type of situation, another reset in your life. How are you responding to your wife with another man, and then the kids, and you're out of your house, and like you just lost your job. It's like there's a lot going on in there. I do feel like that the ending, in a way, kind of wrapped everything up in a nice little bow, and then they
yeah,
kind of leave the door open for a season 2 to continue the story. Like it was just all too convenient by the end of by the end of the season.
yeah. I do feel I can agree with that. I can agree with you on that.
But overall, I liked a lot of what the show had to offer, and yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to another show that we both watched from Marvel Television. Ironheart had 6 episodes. I dropped, I think, 3 and 3,
Hmm.
and it's a great show from Marvel Television.
I have to tell you that I was fucking pleasantly surprised by this. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I initially wrote it off. I was
Hmm.
like it didn't captivate me. Like, I was like, like maybe like I didn't, maybe the care for the character wasn't there as much. But this show hooked me into Ironheart. I was in it from the beginning. I thought it was just really compelling. I thought the characters they set up were really good. I thought Anthony Ramos as the Hood villain, I thought was
Pretty
fucking
solid.
great. Like, I thought he was a great villain. And then the characters were fleshed out. Like, it just worked. There were some parts that were kind of funny and campy, and then there were certain parts that I was like, oh shit, and we're talking spoilers here, but when she kills the Hood's cousin and she just leaves him to die, I was like,
Hmm.
she purposefully left him there to die. And then we explored that, and I thought that was really interesting, and I thought it was a really interesting take, given especially given in how the series ends. I
Yeah,
thought I thought it gave her a great arc for all 6 episodes. Like, I was like, wow, like, this is fucking great storytelling just
Thi-
through this character. I thought it was fantastic. You get to learn, you deal with her grief of her stepfather and her best friend, and how she's able to navigate that, and the way they were able to weave that into the her being her AI, and that being a part
seamlessly.
seamlessly. Like, I fucking fully bought it. Like, I just completely bought in, and I just thought it was great. It was a well-crafted narrative. It was really well shot. The action sequences were engaging. They were funny. It had stakes. Like, it dealt, like, we're dealing with death and our choices and consequences, and like how we live with the things that we do. I mean, Anthony Ramos to her at the end, telling her, you're a criminal like me, and like really speaking to that, her darker side of that, and how we see that manifest with the Mephisto, and having that all tie in to reveal Mephisto in the end, I thought was
Yeah.
fucking great.
You see the thing. So I wasn't expecting magic in this show. I know the Hood had some like supernatural abilities, but I never really understood anything. So I kind of went in the show completely blind. And so the fact that this show is much darker than I anticipated, and also where it ended with basically her as a hero, so to speak, makes a little deal with the devil. You're like, oh shit, and that's where we end the show.
Right.
you're like, oh damn, like this is even like this is how she's gonna get herself out of this. This is where we're ending it. So that's wild to me. Honestly, I was hooked right after at the end of the pilot because I'm like, oh, here's the standard, she got kicked out of college, she's trying to build the suit, she has her dreams, whatever. She wants to do big things. And then, we're also seeing with the grief of, like you said, her stepfather and her best friend. And then the part that gets me was when the AI when her best friend becomes the AI. And I was like, ooh, that is a good, like launching point for the series. Because
Yes.
now here's grief. Here's a person that you don't want to kind of think about anymore is literally right in front of you, and you need this AI to kind of navigate where you want to push forward. And that was a great way for her to kind of reconcile with a lot of stuff she's been dealing with internally. And I thought that was like a great way to kind of in a way where um in Batman, is it Arkham Knight,
Are you talking
I
about the
believe?
game?
The video game, yeah. I think
Yes.
what was the last one in the trilogy? Arkham Knight?
Yes.
And when you had the Joker as like your like this figure that's in your mind, he's always popped up whenever. Very similar to that. Here's this person that just kind of pops up, or AI thing that kind of pops up here to help you, but also has all the memories more or less of what happened. I thought that was a great way to kind of interweave the story while she was trying to figure her own shit out. And then I wasn't expecting Mephisto. A lot of rumors out there was like, "Oh, Mephisto's gonna be in this series." I'm like, "You're out of your mind. Are you crazy? They're not gonna introduce Mephisto in this show." And they did, and it worked.
Yes. And I think it also ties in. So that the whole magic thing. At first, I was like, "Oh, it's kind of dumb," but it actually makes sense because in the show they say, magic is just science we don't understand, which is a reoccurring theme that we've seen in other
Mhm.
Marvel projects, like notably Thor 1
Mhm.
when he's talking to Lady Thor. I don't remember Natalie Portman's character,
Lady Thor.
Lady Thor. When he's talking to her, that's literally what he says to her: "Is magic is just science we don't understand." And we see
Yeah.
that theme come back to fruition here, especially because we're dealing with the next Tony Stark mind. Like, so she's the pinnacle of tech genius, and then having to deal with this magic thing that she doesn't know about, and also like a great backdoor intro to the sorceress girl, and then
Oh, yes.
like
Yeah, yeah.
learning, and then having that tie in to the Doctor Strange movie, Dormammu, and
Yeah.
and talking about the Mads Mikkelsen's character. They talk about like how it possesses him. So
Mhm.
like these little this is what I love. Like these are little ties that give the centralized story better context. So like that, I think that is why this show worked so well, because it wasn't riddled with like MCU setup where it had it, but it was weaved perfectly into the story, I think.
Yeah. I think my biggest question at watching at the end of this is like, where does her story continue? How does it even fit into the bigger MCU, even if it does at all? Are we getting a second season? And when the next time we're seeing Mephisto? Like, is
Yes.
this another dark deal that he just makes and he just moves on to the next victim? Which he says in the show that he has other people he needs to consult. Like, he's not the only client, so to speak. And Sacha Baron Cohen was so good
Right?
as
Fucking
Mephisto. I
fucking
was like, I
Borat.
did not see that coming at all. And like I was like, damn, this works. I'm really curious to see where these characters move on next, given that the tone of the show doesn't feel like it can fit anywhere that we've seen right now. And I don't think that these characters are going to be set up for Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars, but rather as what they've been doing for quite some time now is setting themselves up for like the Young Avengers storyline.
What and what I and what so there's a couple things. Like this show was so good that it made me go, I want to read Ironheart comics. Like that's
Yeah.
like to me that I was like, if this is the storytelling that is in the comics for her, then that's something that I personally want to explore.
Yeah.
Not only that, is that I feel like, I mean, we're at a really interesting point at the end of the season because you have this genius who's now technically under Mephisto's control. So what are we going to see? I mean, look what it did to Anthony Ramos, to the Hood's
Mhm.
character, and what it did to him. So how and when are we going to see that play out maybe in another film, like maybe in the Young Avengers. I don't know, but I think moving any project moving forward that's going to involve Ironheart, I think now has just made her that much more of an interesting character
Yeah.
because of this season.
Agreed, agreed. And a lot of people kind of wrote this show off because, like, who cares about Ironheart? But this show gave perfectly good reason, and also kind of the new formula that Marvel Television is going in, where like you don't necessarily need to watch Black Panther: Wakanda Forever to understand this character. Yes, this character was introduced in the film, but this show lives on its own 100%.
Yeah, and
Like,
they
and
reference
and
it.
it works really well.
Her in the Wakanda Forever movie, but
Yeah,
not in a way that's like just exposition. It just made in the scene it made sense for her to bring up Shuri and talk about being with them,
yeah,
fighting Namor and all that. Like it just made sense for that to be brought up. And then you brought her right back into the story of what's happening in Chicago right now. I thought
yeah.
the tie back with Zeke Stain to being Obadiah's son, as
Oh
soon as
yeah,
I was like, no, it's not him. There's no way. And then it was great. And he's like an actual villain in the comics.
yeah,
And to me, I was like that's smart. It just seems like the people who wrote this show like did their homework on like Marvel lore. Like there's Iron Man comics you can read. There's Ironheart. Like there's just so much out there that you can reference, and it to me it worked. I was
yeah.
pleasantly surprised. Like I can't wait to see what's the next iteration for her character as Ironheart.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of potential here to kind of, and also see her how she reacts on the, like, kind of working together with other superheroes. I'm assuming eventually we'll probably get um like Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop,
Hmm.
Miss Marvel, maybe She-Hulk. I'm not sure how much they want to dive into these characters more, but like they're definitely setting up for a younger Avengers storyline. Even Wiccan from Agatha All Along, like they're all there. These younger actors are all probably signed their multi film television show contracts to come back whenever they decide to get this ball moving. So
Yeah,
um, I'm definitely excited to see what the future holds for this character, and where kind of this story continues
yeah,
from here.
yeah.
All right, so let's move on to some of the movies we've watched. We have two more before we get to our spoiler review. One was a movie just recently hit HBO Max, is Death of a Unicorn, and yeah,
This movie was awful. This movie was fucking terrible. It's like, oh my god, I can't even believe how checked out of this fucking movie I was. Like, I tried so hard, and then after a while, I was like, fuck it. Like, I just don't like this. This is not. It's just start to finish, just wasn't good. I'm sorry.
it's again, it's one of those movies. A24 is literally a hit or miss. It's one of those movies where like, okay, they're gonna go to this isolated area. Obviously, they run over a unicorn. They're trying to deal with the unicorn. It looks like the unicorn is about to murder these people. All that was presented in the trailer. The only thing you don't know is how it ends. And it's one of those movies where like, okay, I think the premise is enough, and I also like the actors enough that I'm willing to give it for a ride. And I don't know if I'm going to be satisfied with the ending, but I'm willing to do the work, the 90-minute work to get there. And it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the kills were like kind of comical, but it was just. I feel like the movie was trying to be more than what it was. I feel like if should have just went full wacky, like full, like just go full camp, it probably would have been
Yeah.
better. But it was like this underlying message they're trying to talk about. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like these are just movies that just exist. Like there's certain movies that I feel like there's just no point to it. It's just a movie, like an idea, and they want to work with it, and we have actors that can go behind it, and it just doesn't mean anything. And I feel like this is kind of one of those movies. Like, yeah, at the end of it, what do we get out of it? I don't know.
Uh,
They murdered a few people, and then the unicorns are saving them from going to jail.
because she was a virgin and she like sacrificed herself because they found the unicorn lore online. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
Uh,
know.
yeah, I was here for Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. And honestly, you know what? Will Poulter, was probably my favorite character in that movie.
He's the only redeeming quality of that film. I
He
100%
he was an
agree.
awful character, but he played it so well.
Yeah, yeah, he was so
And
good.
and speaking of which, I hated Paul Rudd. I hated Paul Rudd in this entire movie.
Yeah,
I never liked him. I thought he was like, "What are you doing right now?" It's like, "Oh well, I have to work with my boss, and we're trying to save the family." And
oh, I'm gonna
I was like,
steal the horn. Oh, I wonder why they're after me.
"Yeah, it's like what? Like it's like exactly. It's like why the fuck did you steal the horn then?"
It's like, you
I
dumbass. Don't you see people are being murdered? Like the old man who turned young, he got, what did he got split open in half in the face.
Yes,
Like, and then there was that one chick that they that they split, that they grabbed and just tore in half. Like
yes.
it's pretty dark, but it just, I don't know. Would have
But they
been,
were like, but they knew, especially for the doctor and for Paul Rudd's character to be like, I know why they're after me is because I have the thing that they want, but I'm just gonna see if I can get away
yeah,
with it.
because I'm so
And like,
greedy. We have so much corporate greed. We just want to make money. We don't care
yeah,
about almost fucking dying. Like, no, fuck this horn. We'll be fine.
yeah. Honestly, when Paul Rudd like he was like, I have the horn, it's for our family. It's like you die,
Yeah, I wanted him to
die
die.
now.
I really wanted him to die.
Get out of here. What the fuck are you talking about? Living. How about you live first? Forget about the stupid fucking unicorn horn you found. Like, oh my god, I was like, this movie is dumb. This movie's for like it honestly, it was just a good excuse for this movie. Like, hey, do you want to see unicorns kill people? Let's make a movie about that.
Let's do it.
And like,
Let's
let's
make
not care about what this movie's about, but the unicorns are gonna kill people. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
let's take this creature that everybody deems as majestic and beautiful, and let's just make them murderous, violent creatures.
That's what the point of this movie
That's
was.
literally the movie.
That's it. That's it. It kind of honestly, I feel like Cocaine Bear was a better movie, but it
Yes.
was in the sense of that same vein. It's like, what if we took this real life situation of a bear like snorting cocaine, but then like really going rampant on it,
Yeah, like
and
we're gonna go for it.
we're gonna go for it. And that's what this movie was. The similar idea, just that movie was done a little bit better than this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right. Enough of that one.
yeah,
Let's talk about this movie.
this movie. This movie was that poster said considered the best horror movie of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, this is another one. Again, you're taking a gamble. You have this interesting premise. You got Dave Franco, Allison Brie, couple in real life, and they make a movie together called Together. An interesting premise that after they go down a well, they have these, I guess, this capability of them kind of forcing each other upon it. And there's a lot of hidden meaning behind it as well, as far as your
Yeah.
relationships and how you treat one another. There's a lot of subtext within this movie that I understood. But then you also have the weird body horror of it all. And that's like going to be the eye catching thing, kind of layered behind, like, here's what the movie's actually trying to say. But then we're also going to like gross you out with this body horror stuff.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, I actually was for it. I actually kind of liked it. So like, to me, this was like better than The Substance. And I know you,
You're wrong. You're
I
wrong.
knew that you were gonna fucking say that.
So
I
wrong.
knew that you were gonna say that.
So wrong.
And because
How dare you say that? Absolutely not.
I just
No way.
because I felt like and kind of to your point, I felt like the body horror stuff was secondary to the story about being codependent on your partner. And I felt
Yes.
like that, and I felt like, to me, that's what works. Like, you're giving us this real story that us as human beings everybody can relate to, about being in relationships and seeing people who are like super codependent on their partner. So like, what is the most extreme version of that? But what if you were literally fusing together? But you guys are already so codependent on each other. So what does that look like? And then, because we didn't get a lot of body horror, there's like
No.
which I thought was great, because I felt like if it was too much, then it would have just been like, gross, like The Substance.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well, the substance was gross. It was gross. The substance was gross. You're right.
This wasn't
Uh,
I felt like this wasn't as gross as I initially thought it was going to be. I mean, I thought, to me, like, them having sex in the bathroom scene and then they get stuck together. I mean, that part is fucking like, right? Like, that's a fucking great
Yeah.
scene. Because like, that you're already getting stuck together, but yet it's layered with that he's so codependent on her, he couldn't even make it to his gig, that he puts her in this risky situation where she could have lost her job. Like that's how
Yeah.
I initially viewed the situation. And then on top of that, now there's this body horror thing where your dick is literally stuck inside of her. And she literally says, I'm sorry. It covers your mouth and rips your dick out of her. Like literally
Yeah.
because you're stuck together. I mean,
Yeah,
that is a fucking great scene.
yeah, there's again a lot of like, yes, there is this physical element in here of like they are forced to be kind of attached to each other by many ways because of they drink some water in a well of a cult church.
Yeah.
So like that's all that. But you're right. The scenes in between it kind of like the reason because these were happening is because of what the movie was telling you that they were forced to be together. However, there's there's some meaning behind it when you take that stuff out of it. When you take that element out of it, then yes, being codependent on a person, having sex in a bathroom, being risky, trying to be adventurous in your relationship, and then almost losing your job because of it, just because the other person wants to do something spontaneous, that's what you take away from that scene. Not the fact that this guy is forced to be, literally connected to your partner. So like, but yeah, you're right. There's a lot of that all over this movie to the point when then again it comes down to the end of the movie is like, well, how are they going to end this? And then you lean into the horror body of it all, and then you get weird. Like,
But I mean,
but
what? I mean, it's a horror movie. It's not listed as
true.
like as a drama where you expect a happy ending. Like, I actually thought that the fact that it didn't have a happy ending, like The Substance, which was part of what made it work. I think I would have preferred. I actually don't know. Like, how else would you have wanted this movie to end?
Well, no, because I think it provides a point in the
Yeah,
sense of like because I mean we're already talking about it, so I'm
yeah.
just gonna say it again. Spoilers. But how this movie ended was like to the point of okay, here's your what you've been preaching in this whole movie about kind of work together as a couple. It would have been weird at the end of the movie to be like, well, the only reason this is gonna work is if you literally kill the other partner and then like then that's how you fix this relationship is if literally in the context of this film if one person dies and in a similar fashion basically saying well we're just not going to work so therefore we're just going to separate and then no longer be together and that's what that means but in the context of the movie you have to kill them in order for this to work out so that's one way the movie could have gone of the sense like we're just separating because we're better people without each other but in the sense of making complicated relationships work, it's compromise. It's listening to each other. It's
Mm.
it's like understanding one another and being there for one another. And no matter what your problems are, and just kind of working things out. Like that's kind of in a similar sense of what I took as the meaning as is like the only way this is going to work is if we're literally one person because that and sometimes that's how you make a relationship work is that you have your individual selves but you're gonna have to operate as one in order to, I guess reach not I wouldn't say happiness, but like an understanding within your relationship. You're compromising in the sense in a way.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what it is because you're fine because nobody's perfect.
Right.
So when you're in a relationship, there like what people and then this is a lot of us do in early relationships. You try to fix the other person as
Hmm.
opposed to accepting them at their faults. Like you just need to. Unfortunately, you just have to accept that person how they are, and then you work together to try to be better. But it is something that you do together. So I actually didn't think about that, but that makes a lot. I actually think it makes a lot of sense. But
Because then now you're working together to basically like you are now no longer codepending on one another. You are actually operating as one, which is what the movie kind of suggests at the end of the day is like you're now in a happier relationship because you are literally the same person.
yeah, I mean, literally, I mean, you guys are both in there, but you're really now just one. And in essence, that's what you do. You become when it's you and your partner. It's usually you view it as you and your partner versus the world. So in essence, you are literally one. I also kind of saw it as like these two were so codependent on each other that if they decided to be apart, that they would rather just be fused together as one person than be separated because as you said they realize that they're better together.
Yeah, and literally together, like, as one person. And then at this point, I would love to hear the explanation what they when they finally see, her parents come at the door, and you see, like, this random, like
Weird CGI mix of I thought that that part was weird. What would have been, and I get, they wanted to show it. What would have
mm,
been more beneficial is if we just got like an obscure view of them. So like maybe we
mhm,
see the parents, but instead of seeing the CGI version of them, you see the back of their head and like maybe like the mom like pass out or like try to figure out who that person is. But we get
yeah.
like this weird, I don't even know how to describe that person.
Well, here's the thing, because, like, the actor who played, like, the neighbor and also was secretly part of the cult the whole time and knew exactly what was going on, he looks normal. So is this just part of the process? Does it take time for you to eventually just become a normal person, or a normal looking person, I should say? Because this is somewhat fresh. They said that the parents were coming soon, like, over in the weekend. So this happened within the last day or 2.
Yeah.
And everything seems to be perfectly fine. Everything is neat. Basically, what the ending of this movie also is just that now they're on the same page. They understand one another and they can operate in a healthy relationship by being one person.
Yeah.
Like that's how much they're like. There's no deeper love than you understanding your partner, literally to the point where you are operating as one person.
And I gotta
So
admit, it was pretty cool. Like when to see them, like when they finally decided to do it, and they stripped down, and they have that fuse, like they just fusing together. Like I would have liked to, like for it to be true body horror. Like we should have seen like that fully play out. Although it was pretty cool to see like his hands, like literally, like go into her back, and like
yeah,
as they're fusing.
I
I
mean, you
mean,
can see it. See in this poster right here is basically that.
yeah, exactly. But like there's one point where where they fully embrace, and like he goes to hug her, but then it like goes into her body, and
Yeah.
then the shot goes to her back, and you can see his hands like inside of her skin. And I just thought
Mhm.
that the way that they showed that scene, like of all the weird ways they could have done that, like I thought it worked.
And then you also have like the probably the most quote unquote horrific scene in the body horror is like where it kind of pans around and you just see them kind of just like these two entities literally forming into one person, and like you saw like half a face and like really just like one foot. And yeah, it was it wasn't a bad movie. I do, again, something that I've been saying throughout this whole episode. It was one of the sense of like, I know that they're gonna be forces that be that are making them connected, and we're gonna try to see how they get apart. So the point is how I'm along for the ride, but how is this going to end? And I think the ride and the ending was worth it.
Yeah, I agree. And
Yeah,
I just
there
I
was a
really
lot that they were saying within this as well. Different from Death of a Unicorn, where it felt like you had no subtext whatsoever what was
yeah,
going
it
on.
was all surface
Uh,
level.
So it was all surface level. This one had complexity to it, which made it interesting.
And to me that's where this movie shines, is that it wasn't
Mhm.
just this body horror movie, that there's this underlying story that was prominent, and then the body horror stuff was secondary to this story about this couple. At least
Yeah.
that's kind of how I saw it. And then it culminates to the end with the body horror being part of the finale, being part of the ending. But I think it works in relation to the story that they were trying to tell.
Yeah.
To me, it
I
works.
think yeah, everything kind of just made sense. Like
Yeah,
everything, like they didn't feel like they were just doing things out of random.
correct.
Like
Yeah,
it felt like it had a purpose. And
yeah.
that's those are the type of movies that like, okay, again, you understand what movie that you are. If this is the angle that you're going for, then just go full into it. And they did. And I think it worked. For the sake of our let's do a quick 5-star rating on this one. What'd you give this?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
A 4? Okay.
Mhm.
I was gonna say like 3.5.
I
Yeah.
can meet. I can. You know what, Matt? I will meet you at a 3.5. How about that?
Okay.
Because I
Great.
feel like I could already tell just by talking to you that it would be a stretch. Like you can feel. I can feel it within you that a 4 is a stretch for you.
I think yes, I think a
I know.
4 is a stretch. Because even a part of that too is like I wouldn't rewatch this movie again. I feel like I have no reason to rewatch this film again.
Okay. I don't know if
So
I can agree with that, because I can't say that I'm like gonna buy. It's not gonna be part of the collection. I'm not going out to the theaters to go see it again.
yeah, it's like I'm happy that I watched this movie. I'm happy of what this movie was allowed me to take away from it. But other than that, like I have a conversation piece if this movie comes up. It's like this is another a movie in the bank that like, oh, I remember that movie, and here's my thoughts about it, and here's my feelings and whatnot. And like, yeah, it was a solid horror movie. So I was happy with what I got, but I have no interest of like revisiting that and diving deeper into it because I feel like as of right now, I got everything I needed to get out of that movie from the first view.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
could see that.
but yeah, so like a solid horror movie. And also I'm not sure how often or not often that Dave Franco and Alison Brie kind of work together in a movie, but I think they should do it more often. That they were obviously they're a couple in real life, but I think their chemistry within this and in this really awkward situation really worked. So like if they wanted to do it in a different setting, I think they should continue to do that.
I actually did not know that they were dating in real life. It's
Yeah,
not. It's not.
I don't think they're married, but they've been together for quite some time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I think they can consider themselves as partners at this point. But yeah, but they could be married. I honestly don't know. I'm not sure what the whole deal is with that. But anyway, pretty solid movie from this team together. It's available to watch in theaters. And now, after 2 hours later, we're gonna be diving into our spoiler review of the spoof comedy Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. Ernesto, your thoughts on the Naked Gun?
I have to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised by this film. I, especially because, like, usually we go into a movie, it's like, all right, let me sit down, let me figure it out. Before I even walked into this movie, I knew exactly what I was going to be walking into, and and partly is because like as a kid, like I actually not as a kid because more of like a younger, older kid. I actually watched the original trilogy
Hmm.
before. Like I've watched them all, the 1, 2.5, and 33.5. And I just think Leslie Nielsen is hilarious. I think he's so funny. Another movie, a spoof movie he did that I really enjoy is called Spy Hard. It's basically like Naked Gun, but
Hmm.
but like a Secret Service 007 version of that.
Yeah.
And it's like the same slapsticky comedy, and it just works. It's kind of in the vein of like South Park, where there's certain things that are happening socially that they seem to not necessarily attack, but they point out in the film. Like
Yeah.
the second one has the president. Oh, I don't know if you've seen. I didn't know if you got a chance to watch any of the original ones.
I watched the first one, and I'm gonna be honest, I was like, I got the idea.
Yeah, it's
It's
deja.
like
It's the same movie.
it's it's the same movie. I didn't have time to watch all 3, but, like, I saw the first one, I was like, "I think I'm good. I understand what a spoof movie is. This is a spoof of its time." Some jokes are funny, and some jokes are not.
Yeah,
Some jokes land, and some jokes didn't. And I feel like I didn't wanna do that 2 more times
I
to
get that.
watch, like, 2 and 3, even though they said that 2 is pretty good and 3 was not as good. That's what the consensus is online. But, and, like, if I had time, I was gonna dive into the second one, but for the most part, I don't need to watch all the Naked Guns to understand a spoof comedy,
I don't know.
like
I don't
this
know.
one.
We needed the lore on this one. No, no,
I think I got what I needed from watching the first one.
and I think that this movie does justice to it kind of relives all those same themes and like
100%.
and like the I feel like the comedy I feel like it was just funny like it and you don't like it's Liam Neeson, so like the guy from Taken, like, and to me that's what's the funniest part is that
Yeah.
you have this super serious actor put into this role, and I think it just works because he plays it so serious, very similar to how Leslie Nielsen did it, whereas like he played it serious, but it was clearly like him being an idiot, and
Yeah,
it just works.
the best part about both movies, and also just a spoof in general, is it's the commitment to the bit,
Yes,
but the best jokes are the ones you don't call out. Like, yes, you have your slapstick comedy, your physical comedy where you're just falling over things, and I feel like a lot of Naked Gun was also relying on, like, the physical comedy of it all. Like, I'm just gonna trip over this or fall over that and do whatever. And, like, to me, that's not as funny for me. Falling over stuff is not as funny. The jokes that land, though, is like, uh, it's the clever wordplay. that they did a bunch in this movie that I
Yes.
wrote down that we'll talk about later. But it's just like they take a word, a turn of phrase, and then they take it literally, and they don't address what they did. They don't bring a point to it. They don't point. They don't look at the camera or anything. It's like it's a hit or a miss. It's like a joke that just kind of flew right by, and you're like, oh wait, what did they say? And then it makes you question exactly what it was. It's clever writing
Yes.
to what you know and versa. And then also another bit was, and that, to me, one of the funnier bits in the Naked Gun, the first movie, was when he was negotiating with the guy at the boathouse,
Yes.
and he like handed him a 20. And he's, how about now? And then he's like 40. He's like, okay, I'll tell you what it is. And like, wait, I have a question. Like, well, I'm not gonna tell you. And then he hands the same 20 and the same 40, and then he spots him another 20, and it's like, that's funny.
Yeah,
That's really
that was
funny.
funny.
That joke lands.
The one for me, like we can kind of go into them now, but I think the one
Yeah.
from this movie that I really enjoyed is when he's bringing Pamela Anderson in, and he tells her to take a chair, and then he's like, no, and she goes, by the way, I will take that chair. You see her leave, and she throws it over her shoulder. It's so fucking stupid, but it's just funny because then she just like seriously drags the chair, struts out with it, throws it over her shoulder. The other one is the Busta Rhymes one, which was in the trailer, but to me it was just as funny.
To your point, yes. The like, have a seat. She goes, I already have one. Moving on. Next joke. It's so quick. You're like, wait, what'd she say? It doesn't matter. You got to keep up.
Yeah.
You got to keep up with it. It's so funny. One of the favorite lines of this movie, I wrote it down. It's when Liam Neeson was having his inner monologue, and like he opens his office and he sees Pamela Anderson there, and he's describing her. And this one lives rent free in my head, and I had to write it down. I was like, what did he say? And he said this. He said, and has a bottom that would make a toilet beg for the brown. And I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, what a line that is. Oh my God. So funny. So funny. I was like, wow, that took me way off guard. And it's like, he said it with such nuance.
Yes.
It's like, has an ass that makes a toilet seat want to beg for the brown. Like, what are you talking about? But like, you get the context of what he's trying to say, but just says it in such an unorthodox way. Had me dying. I had to, I was like, that's comedy. That's comedy. It works. It works. It's a witty line that just absurd. It's a absurd line, but it works for the movie.
Mine
yeah,
was,
I mean,
there was just like the whole plot device thing. I was like, that was so stupid. Like, it's like literally, and then I like how he had an acronym for it. Like I forget what it actually means, but
yeah, I forgot to write it down.
But
But
it was
yes,
just
it was
funny.
like literally look at it, it says plot device on it. I was like, that's good.
But see, it's great. But it's shit like that. It just made like there was a lot of moments that just made me chuckle. To be honest, my favorite part of the movie is the fucking snowman bit.
It's so fucking random.
Because they take it all the way. Like they started, they do, and it's built off of this random like, oh, let's do this Ouija board thing. It commands the soul, and then it turns into like this weird love triangle, and then the snowman becomes like a killer snowman, and then they fucking melt it. I mean, it went on for so long, but I was here for it the whole thing. Like I thought it was so good.
It was a movie within a movie,
Yes.
technically.
I was in tears watching that scene. It was so funny.
And it's like, yep, what a crazy weekend that was. And you're like, boy, you did so many random things. Let's not talk about the snowman. Yeah, there's just a lot of clever jokes. It's like, even like when he was talking to the rich guy and he was talking about like he's like, yeah, they had a low sperm count across the board. And without missing a beat, Liam Neeson goes, I never had my sperm on a board. I prefer an old t-shirt. And you're just like, what?
What? And then everybody, and then even the movie, they're like, huh? What?
Yeah. It's very quick, and it's such good wordplay and it's just nonstop. And it's just like, again, taking a random turn of phrase and taking it literally. And then committing to the bit. That's what makes this movie work.
Yeah.
So well.
Paul Walter Heiser handing out beers to kids, and then he's like drinking with them by the end of it.
Yeah, and then, also, I love, like, the again, something else that doesn't really get caught attention to, but the consistent coffee bit where
Yes.
they pick up a coffee, and then someone hands them a coffee, and then, like, they throw the other coffee they just received and pick up the new one, or the coffee cups get bigger, or, like, he just hands coffee as he's driving on the side of the road. It's an ongoing bit throughout this whole movie that makes me laugh every time because it gets more ridiculous, and, I was like, "Yeah, that's funny." Yeah, because like, again, you're going along the bit of cops like coffee.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just a lot of that. But I think it's interesting that we're like in this day and age, you'd almost be scared to do movies like this.
Yeah.
You figure everybody's so serious, but I don't know. These movies just work.
Yeah, and I think this is, in a way, we were talking about this before. We know we saw The Naked Gun coming out. We know that another scary movie is on the horizon, and then we have a Spaceball sequel in 2027. So, like, these movies are kind of on the rise and are on a comeback to see if they still work. And The Naked Gun was the first one to kind of push the boundary. Let's see if people will come out and go to the movies. And for the most part, like, it had a pretty solid opening weekend. We'll get to the box office stuff in a second, but like, I think this movie proves that you can be funny and people will still come to the theaters as long as you commit to your comedy, to the comedy of it all.
Yes.
And like, are spoof movies still alive? And I think the Naked Gun movie proved that yes, it can. And almost to a degree that, like, I think in a way we're kind of starving for this type of comedy.
I
Uh
agree.
be-
Yes. I
because we
agree
haven't
totally.
had it in so long, and like, again, studios are probably afraid to do that. So even put it in the theater, it works really well.
And that's the other thing. So like in comparison to Happy Gilmore, like that just streamed on Netflix, or another movie that probably could have done well comparatively to
Mhm.
this movie, like, and it's great that it's something besides a superhero movie, which we love, which we
Yeah.
love, but something besides a superhero movie that's drawing people to back to the theaters, because the movie theater experience for this movie is great.
Yeah, because on top of that, you have, like, it's not just like you just said, your big action temples, your franchise hits, um your dr- not drama heavy, but like your thrillers, your horror movies that draw people to the theaters. It's like a comedy can do that too, and I think people are starving for this content to come back, and they kind of want to laugh in the theater again because a lot of movies are in a combination of, or like, you have your comedy and horror, you have your comedy and action, you have your comedy and drama, but you have your comedy and romance. But it's rare that you can just have a straight comedy. We're just here for laughs. That's all we're doing. And I think this movie works so well for it. Another one, another bit that they kind of had not a bit, but like the clever wordplay. I think the rich evil guy was like, um, "May I ask why?" And then instantly goes, "Go ahead, go right ahead." You're like, you know, like, you don't understand. And then they just move on to the next bit. The other one, this one had me rolling, and he goes, uh, like, I think he's like looking at like he's like, "Did you go to UCLA?" He's like, and then she goes, "I see it every day. I live here." It's like,
It's like, no, it's not what I'm.
yeah, it's so literal to that. Like, yeah, of course I see LA every day. It's like, yeah, it's great. It's one of those things where it's just funny, and it really works. Also, what was it? They said that the police squad was going out of business, and instantly in the background, you saw the Spirit Halloween
Yeah,
just
that was great.
so just rolled up. It's yeah, there's just so much of that, and I think, yeah, a broken record, but we need these comedies back into the theaters.
Also, even I agree with you. Also, even having Pamela Anderson in the film itself is a gag in itself, because she was supposed to be in the third one, but then that role was taken by, and I forgot what the reasoning is. They wanted Pamela Anderson, but then it ended up going to Anna Nicole Smith.
Mm. Also, speaking of Pamela Anderson, what a fucking comeback she's had.
Yeah, I know.
I just saw her in a movie called The Last Showgirl that's currently on Hulu right now, and that was like her big return to acting. It was a very drama heavy, very serious role for her, and it really worked. I saw it, and it was a great role for her to do, especially like come back into acting. But then do this and commit to the comedy beats. She was going toe to toe with Liam Neeson, and it was so good.
Yeah, even it was a little slapsticky, but the scene where the henchman is watching them and he's got the night vision goggles and he puts like everything you look at is like not what's actually happening.
Yes,
I
very
thought that was
Austin
funny.
Powers.
Yeah, very Austin Powers, and I think it worked. They didn't overdo it, but it was a to me that was a good bit.
Yeah, it was a good bit. Also, I love the commitment of Pamela Anderson when they're in the bar or at the nightclub, and she's trying to cause a distraction for Liam Neeson and try to get the information on the security tapes, and then she's like, "I'm gonna go sing jazz." She's like, "Oh, I love jazz." And then like you see this, you would think, how when you go up there in normal movies, you have this beautiful voice, and you're just gonna sing to the audience for a few minutes just for long as a distraction to kind of distract everybody. And then she goes, and he's just like she's just scatting, and then you have Liam Neeson in the background going like, "Ah, yes, the jazz scatting, whatever," and it's just like it's so stupid, but it works
I would actually watch this movie again. Like I would, I,
100%.
I would see, and I think that's what makes this work. Like I would go to the theaters and watch this again, just
Yes,
for the experience, just for the movie theater experience, because obviously you're not going for the story, like you're going
yeah,
for the
no,
gags.
you're going for the gags, and this is what makes the movie work. Also, it was another bit. Oh, the TV bit, the TiVo bit, had me dying.
But he played it so serious. He was so
But
mad.
it went on for so long. It went on for so long. He's like, "Is that the TiVo that I lent you?"
Is that the
It's like,
Ethernet cord?
"Did you plug it into the internet? I specifically told you not to plug it into the internet." And then if I lose every episode of Buffy and the Vampire Slayer, it's like, that means no more this, no more this, no more this. If I plug it in, and then then like she's like scared, and he goes through the TiVo and he goes, "It's all gone."
It's all gone.
It's
And he was so mad. It was
so good, like just completely off the rails. Oh, the Mission Impossible bit when they trapped, like they capture the henchman. So in
oh
One of
yeah,
the Mission
yeah,
Impossible
yes,
movies,
yes.
they like fake that this person like was able to like foil his plan, and like they made this whole fake set to kind of get a confession out of him, and then they replayed that bit in this movie. And then like the walls come down, it's like, haha, you're under arrest, and then the other lady goes, German, you're under arrest, and then more walls come down, like, haha, and then more walls come down of a mission within a mission. Is like, that's another good bit,
Yeah.
another good bit. um and then, like, Liam Neeson coming down in the wrestling ring,
Oh yeah.
and then, like, his pants falls down, and then you have the announcer just kind of, "Now for the folks at home, it's like a large sausage just kinda whipping around,"
It's
like,
like
and
that's
then
a
he's
man. He's like that's man such. That is an endowment of a king. And like he was just saying all kinds of crazy shit. And those are real. And those are real UFC fighters. Like they had real
yeah,
UFC fighters. That's Bruce Buffer. Like he's a real announcer for the UFC.
yeah,
The guys are on the side. I mean, it was just really great. And
yeah.
apparently the actress I read online, I must have missed it, who played Frank Drebin, Leslie Nielsen's wife in the original trilogy. She's in the UFC scene apparently
Oh,
for a
oh,
quick
okay.
cameo, like a quick blink if you miss it. I must have missed it, but I read online
Yeah,
that
I missed
apparently
it.
she's in that scene.
Yeah, also, I love the Dave Bautista cameo when, like, out of nowhere, they just cut back to, like, Liam Neeson probably doing a monologue, and then it just cuts to Dave Bautista, and you're like, "Wait, what is he doing?"
Like
And
what
he's like,
happened?
"Oh, thanks, Dave. I had to go use the bathroom," and then kinda he's like, "Okay, you're good now," and then, like, then he continues the line and everything. It's it's a silly movie that works.
Yeah.
It's a silly movie that works, and it's a movie that knows what its job is.
We
It's
also
like, we're
got
giving you
we also got the Weird Al Yankovic cameo again for this movie. He made a cameo. He's made a cameo in all the movies.
Yeah, like, he's gonna be the artist that's singing in the bunker once, like, even, like, the premise itself of, like, calming people up and having them go crazy and in the bunker, it's all ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, if I was gonna nitpick this movie at all, that might be it, is that the MacGuffin, the plot device of it all, of, like, that his plan to, like, have people go crazy and then have people resort to their animal instincts, kill them, and then come back out of the bunker to see a new human civilization, kinda stupid. Like in the sense of not stupid for the movie, but it just really didn't make any sense for the rest of the bits that were going on throughout it. But again, this
Are-
whole movie's stupid.
I
For
was
me to
gonna say,
nitpick on it,
are
it's
you
arbitrary.
are you
It's kind of silly.
like how can you how can that even be a point in contention? Like the movie itself is ridiculous. Like literally everything about this movie is ridiculous. The
Yes.
thing that they're using, like they might as well just called it a MacGuffin. They should have either called
Yeah.
it the plot device worked better, but it could have just been called a MacGuffin.
Yes. Also, I kind of blink if you miss a moment again. There was the when Liam Neeson walked into like the bank and when he first has his interaction with the rich guy, there were two banners that were down on the thing. There was one of them of like I think it said like rich men has their hands on their chin, and it's just like him as a picture like that, and his hands on the chin, like thinking intensely. It was like again, there's I'm sure, and this is another great movie to rewatch. First of all, easy breezy hour 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, like quick watch.
So quick.
And all
Quick
the
walk.
and all the Naked Gun movies are like an hour and 20.
Yeah, they're so quick. So I think but you have to be quick in order to kind of maintain the jokes per minute.
Hmm.
Like, I think any longer, you kinda lose the comedic factor of it all.
I agree. Yes.
But with that, like, you have, um, like, uh damn, what were we just talking about?
The plot device,
Yes,
the banner,
the banner,
hand on
walking
the
in
chin.
oh, I just lost it.
The bank scene, there were two banners, one with the hand on the chin.
Yeah, I lost what
The
my whole point of
the
the thing was.
rewatchability, like, are you to catch
Oh,
things you
thank you.
miss?
Yes, the rewatchability. Yes. To then, yes, so you can go back and rewatch those scenes again on a second rewatch to see because you're probably sure there's a lot of other jokes that were just not on the forefront that
Hmm.
you might have missed going into a second viewing. So this movie has perfect rewatchability of like just enjoying the laughs again. With any comedy, the jokes could age, sure, but for now, for this moment, it's hilarious.
It works, and who knows? They will probably make another one.
I hope they do. And also this duo, Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. And also, I think what also worked for this movie is that they are a little bit of a veterans. Like they've been in Hollywood for quite some time now. So
Hmm.
for Liam Neeson to have the career that he has, that he's dived into some comedy bits, but he's mainly known for this hardcore action, like like
Serious
older
roles.
action star and somewhat serious. And so to have him kind of go back into that, I think it makes it even funnier. And also for Pamela Anderson for her career that she has, very similar in the sense of like, here's this gorgeous woman, and like she has a reputation of being that, and almost on a whole bunch of all other things, and now going to this very comedic role, kind of playing up that aspect as well, works very well. Um, but with that though, I do want to quickly talk about the box office and how well it's doing um, as well. I don't think anyone was expecting this movie to make big waves, but the movie had a budget of $42 million, and at the time of the recording, it opened to about 16.8 million opening weekend. It opened at number three, behind Fantastic Four and what was the other movie? The Bad Guys 2,
Yeah.
which was an animated kids movie, so that's gonna make money. But this movie, at the time of this recording, has made $18.7 million domestically, $11.5 million internationally, with a grand total of $30.2 million worldwide. So it's not making huge strides, and at this point, it may be able to make its budget at the end of the day. But I hope that the box office like shortcomings does not deter this movie from or these types of movies to returning to theaters
Yeah.
because it was such a funny movie. And also I loved Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers from that director. So when I saw that he was attached to a Naked Gun film, I was like, yes.
Yes,
I
I'm in.
I died laughing so much in, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. He understands comedy very well, and I was like, "This movie's gonna be really good." I had a good feeling about it, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see more spoof movies because this just shows that they can. Like we were for a while we were questioning if they can even make these movies anymore, and I believe that the Naked
Yeah.
Gun has answered that question.
I think it just proved that these movies can still live in, like, pop culture.
Yeah.
Like, these 2 movies can have a place to live in the movie verse, in the cinema of it all. Like,
Mm.
this you can go to the theater and watch, Together and then a Naked Gun and a Fantastic Four, and it would be kind of equally going into the ecosystem. And
Yes.
also, just as far as critically concerned, this movie fared very well. It has an 89% Rotten Tomato score with a 75% audience score. So like we're not the only ones that just love this movie. It was, I think, universally accepted as like this movie is really funny. And I think this reaction might garner more people to go and like hopefully more studios want to kind of back these movies and to make it more available into the theaters.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all for it.
So with that, your final thoughts, Ernesto, and your 5-star rating.
So I think that this is a great return for spoof comedy. I thought that Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson pair really well together. I also really like Paul Walter Heiser. I think he meshed really well into this comedic fashion, and like he's done comedy before, like Cobra Kai and stuff. But he's another one where he can. Like if you haven't seen Blackbird on Apple TV Plus, like you wouldn't even recognize him from that role to this movie because they're just so vastly different, and he's just such a well-rounded creative person that like I enjoy him in everything I see him in. I think he shines in everything he's in. And he's also in
Yeah, he was
Fantastic Four as well. Like he's Mo
yep,
Man.
yep.
Which I thought he did really well. He played that role really well. Yeah, so I think out of 5, I think this I'm kind of floating between a 4 and a 4.5. Because I think it
You know,
works. I think it really works for what it is.
yeah, and I think for that reason, I kind of want to give it the 4.5
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it.
because
I'm all for it.
like it committed to the bit and it was funny throughout. It never lost sight of it, and also never went down the route of like, okay, we're gonna be a comedy movie for like 90% or 80% of the movie, and then the 20% of that movie we're gonna kind of hit you with the truth, like we're gonna hit you with some drama into it, like we're gonna add some stakes to it.
No,
It never needed that.
no.
Like it stayed true to being a comedy and it was consistently funny, and that's why it deserves a higher rating because it committed.
It
Um,
also it also serves as like the movies rewatch like I can easily go back and rewatch this movie because 100% I'm going to turn my brain off and I'm going to watch it. Like you know what you're
yeah,
getting yourself into. And it's
it's just
quality.
it's what?
It has high quality, that rewatchability.
Absolutely. It's just a good old fashioned comedy.
Yeah.
Like that's what this is. It's a good old fashioned comedy, and we need more of these movies. Like I would love to see more movies, more comedies in the theater. I don't mind seeing them at home, and I understand that it's not a big drive to see a comedy in the theaters. And I think throughout the pandemic and how studios have been treating comedies, excuse me, they kind of trained us as an audience to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the theater for the big blockbusters, but then stay at home for like our romantic like dramas and comedies and stuff like that. Like I don't have to drive to the theater for it." So hopefully this kind of changes the game a little bit. And other movies within the genre can kind of branch out and be like, "Yes, we can make money because people want to go and see a good movie and just laugh for a few hours
Yeah.
and call it a day."
100%.
But I agree with you. I think this is not only that, but it has like this like nostalgia feeling to it a little bit. It's clever wordplay. It commits to the bit. It's like, yeah, these are movies that we just love to see, and I'm happy to see the Naked Gun of all franchises kind of push the boundary and like let's bring comedies back. Let's like this is proof of concept. Now let's get more.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah, 100%.
but yeah, this is what 4 out of 5 from us here at
4
Box Office.
4.5 out of 5.
Sorry, I'm sorry. 4.5 out of 5 stars at Box Office Bingers. And there you go. That's our spoiler review on The Naked Gun. And that is all the show we have for you guys this week. If you want more from us, you can always follow us on our social media channels on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Box Office Bingers, our X and Letterbox page at Box Office Binger, and our Threads and Instagram page at Box Office _ Bingers. The fun doesn't stop here. It continues on all of our social media channels. So be sure to give each and every one of those a follow. You can see our new to streaming and our weekend box office numbers on our Facebook threads and Instagram page, as well as our lovely faces and our short videos on our YouTube and TikTok page, as well as our reels on Instagram. And you can see a lot of our movie reviews on our letterbox page. So all the fun is over there on our social media channels. So again, please give each one of those a follow. You're not going to be disappointed when you do so. And yeah, that's all the show we have for you guys this week. Ernesto, tell the people what we're gonna review next week.
Oh, we are going to be diving in kind of another horror movie. Well, I guess it's being touted as a horror thriller almost. We're going to be reviewing Weapons, the new A24 film from the same director of
Oh, not
Barbarian.
A24.
No, it's
Warner New Line Cinema,
New
so
Line
like Warner
Cinema. That's
Brothers.
what it
Yeah.
is. But yeah, I'm really excited to check this. It's getting really high praise. Who is the director?
The director's name is Zach Krieger, who is the writer director behind Barbarian, which was a crazy horror film that came out a few years ago, and I love that movie. I think we both really liked it. And so this is his next feature to come out. This is his next film to come out, and apparently it was an intense bidding war. It stars Julia Gardner, who we just saw in Fantastic Four: First Steps, as well as starring Aldrin Ehrenreich, who we just saw in Ironheart,
Mm-hmm.
and Josh Brolin himself. So the whole Marvel family is all coming in together in this one movie here. I feel like almost anyone is anyone nowadays is in a Marvel movie. But this one has a lot of intrigue, a lot of creepiness. The trailers for this movie are just downright creepy. So I'm there was a lot of hype around this when the bidding war was out. Now the movie's finally out, and we'll see if this is worth all the hype.
Yeah, and then coming pretty soon in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be closing out our summer box office recap. We always have fun doing that, kind of going over the summer season in a whole as we kind of wrap up summer and then into fall Oscar bait season.
Yep, yep. We start getting our more hard hitting dramas, movies that are going to be looked at for Oscar contentions. We're doing that the whole bout again. We also have some great movies coming out in the fall as well, like Tron Ares. I'm looking forward to a lot. That's the next October. We also have a few horror movies that are also coming out in September. So yeah, plenty of watch. It's always plenty to watch. And we're always here on Box Office Bingers to talk about it. So with that, we're going to end the show. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for listening to us talk about movies. We really do appreciate it. Come back next year for more movie fun. You're not going to regret it. For that, I've been your host, Matt Diaz.
Oh, and I've been Ernesto Santos. See ya.